Yo, let me tell you about the lore.
Alright, hello and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 3 of Super Lore Boys, a podcast that has a large enough platform even for the low-tier heroes. I'm your host, Rizwan, aka the Psycho Hooligan, and joining us this time we have yet another Cammy extraordinaire. He's a roll-canceling, just-defending, short-hopping, the one who's quiet when you're in his radar, SoCal's very own Silentscope. How's it going, man?
I was not expecting that extra intro. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Silentscope. Steven, if you know me in person. Thank you for having me on, man.
All right. Yeah. I mean, last time I saw you was maybe last January, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, it was before all lockdowns happened. Yeah. Probably at Don's Arcade, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
That's probably. So that was probably either early February or January, something like that. Yeah.
Dang. How you been holding up? Adapting?
Living. My work, I've been able to still continue working because I work in medical devices as my full-time job. I'm a mechanical engineer as full-time, and then gaming stuff is technically my side stuff. But yeah, I've been able to work full-time because I work in the medical devices, so I'm in that loophole of a thing. But yeah, so I've been able to stick around that, but been stuck at home for most of it. I've been able to go back into lab stuff. But yeah, but surviving for the most part.
That's good, man. I mean, it's tough, but it seems like things are getting a little bit better. When I started doing the podcast, I just thought, dang, we're going to be at home for a while, but I don't know, hopefully things are looking up and, we'll be able to go back to the new normal soon. Yeah, before we get into all that, let's go ahead and take a look at your player card over here. So, as you mentioned, gamertag's Silentscope. You've been in the scene since 2009. So what is that? 12 years now, basically. It's about math, right? Yeah, 12 years. Repping SoCal.
I was actually NorCal originally, but currently repping SoCal for my main FGC years. So yeah.
Oh shoot! I had no idea you were from NorCal before that. Where were you in NorCal?
I was Bay Area, San Jose. I was south of pretty much anything that where the main kind of FGC was. I didn't even know about it when I was living up there. You can find like the very first videos of me you can find was me going to Southtown Arcade in San Francisco, Hans's joint, way back in the day, going like 2013, something like that. 2012.
Dang, I didn't even know you were on CBS2 from way back when. I thought it was like a more recent thing.
Well,
I mean,
we'll probably get into that, but yeah, I mean, I literally had just gotten into it. I was pretty much diving myself into it, but I didn't really have a way to play it, and that was like the one place I could go, and they were doing like a monthly for that.
Dang, all right. So it's probably around maybe the time where maybe we first played online or something. But I think we first formally met like 2016. Yeah.
Did we play online? Possibly. I mean, I was. We'll probably get we'll get into more of it, like of my origins. But
yeah.
my start into FGC was online GGPO stuff. When I say 2009, that's literally what I meant.
All right. So game genre, I guess, or games that you like fighting games, action, stealth, turn-based RPG. I was wondering because of the name Silentscope, like the origin. Were you originally an FPS player then?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of FPS in high school with my brother. We actually did like the whole join a league kind of thing. The game we played though wasn't Call of Duty. Even though we did play that, the one we played religiously was a game called America's Army, and also got updated to America's Army 2. It was a first-person shooter that was put out by the military as like a recruiting tool. I forget what my original gamer tag was. I think it was like Sabretooth or something like that when I was really young. Yeah, something with an S. And then I enjoyed playing the sniper in like every single shooting game since then. And also I really like the game Silentscope in like the arcades. I saw it in there. That was always fun. I wasn't one of those people who could like do that blindfolded, like where they knew where everything was and could do it without looking through the scope. I'm like, no, the whole point is to look through the scope, man. Come on. So I really enjoyed that game, and so I just took the moniker. And when I started going onto like GGPO and online fighting games, I needed, a gamer tag to use. I'm like, well, no one knows me. Who's going to know Silentscope? So I just, all right, screw it. I'll just use the same moniker. And now I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, there should be like a FGC school where when you're getting into the scene, they're like, all right, you got to come up with the gamer tag. Like, your first week, you got to come up with the gamer tag. Just remember, it's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. So that way you're more careful.
Yeah, I was not expecting people going, oh, hey, you're Silentscope, right? Because I also made some YouTube videos by that point, and me turning my head like, me? Oh, yeah, hi. Yeah, I see your video stuff. It's like, it's really cool. Nice to meet you. I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck with Silentscope for the rest of my life.
I mean, to be fair, usually when I see you, I'm like, yo, what's up, Scope? Or if I shout, yo, Scope. Yeah. So you probably get that a lot too. But then I think about mouthwash after.
Well, I have the same thing as like with like all the Japanese players that we've met, man. I don't know a lot of their first names. I only know people by their gamer tags nowadays. I don't even call people by their first names anymore. It's like, oh god.
I mean, it's kind of who we became, but yeah. If you see the sickest Gal player in Japan, you're gonna be like, hey, what's up, Kotaka Shoten? You're not gonna
right? I don't know.
You're not gonna call him, hey, Al,
hey,
or whatever.
Hey, Koemon.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a funny I guess origin story. I forget who, but Yoga Boy had another like weird story. Balcork had a weird story. The origin names are kind of funny. So I like kind of getting into that. But yeah, maybe based on your genre, we'll talk about how you got into Cammy. I can kind of see that like you play a very stealthy or strategic type of game with her. Otherwise,
no, there's a much simpler reason why I picked her, but we'll get into that.
Okay, all right, yeah, we'll get into that. All right, otherwise your likes, you got like science, all right, just like me and Damn Die.
Yeah,
and you got
mechanical engineer, got into the sciences and was like, oh yeah, this is my spot.
Did you see the recent like footage of Mars? Like the rover landed and they have like this, I saw a little bit of it. Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome, but I haven't really like in depth like looked at the videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I saw a little bit of that. Well, what sucked was that there was a bunch of people who posted like fake videos of it. They're like the previous, what was it, like there was a Challenger one or something where somebody like tried to edit, like, look, and it supposedly had like sound of like the wind of Mars and whatnot, and people were like, dude, this literally, you have a pan of the camera looking at the rover with its mark that is not the correct rover, you dumbass. It's like, and we're like, oh come on, why are you going to like ruin that whole thing with posting something fake like that? It's like, come on, man, it's a huge achievement, and you're going to like not do the research and realize that this video is not what you think it is. Come on. Yeah, there's always people out there who are gonna ruin it for everybody else. That sucks. But yeah, anyhow.
But yeah, it was really cool to see all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
in recent times, it's crazy to think that there's something this mechanical that was built on Earth that's on the next rock, basically, just like moving around and probably gonna unlock the secrets of Mars. Like it's so ridiculous that in the time where with what's happening right now in the world, that still we're able to accomplish something like that. It's crazy. I don't know. I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, what the hell? It's crazy.
Dude, the coolest thing that I did watch a lot of was the SpaceX that went up and came back. That thing re-landing was the coolest thing I've ever. I saw the thing re-land. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. Okay, how did they do that? Okay, they probably did that. Yeah, that's where my mind went when that happened. Which was really cool as well.
Yeah, especially because there's a lot of like space shows now too. Like The Expanse. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I have not. I hear it's really good. I hear like first couple seasons are good, gets a little and then like the last couple seasons are really good or something like that. But no, I have actually not seen any of The Expanse yet.
Nah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Like shows and stuff I have kind of stopped recently. The only one I'm really watching is WandaVision currently. I'm gaming most of the time, so it's usually not on my radar or
it's
like engrossed in a thing. Yeah. So anyways.
All right, and then other likes video games, which we already went over. D&D, it's Dungeons and Dragons, right? I'm not dumb.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
All right, and then painting miniatures, which I actually saw on your bio on Twitch, and I think on Twitch you're like, I got the whole package or something.
I'm a geek, nerd, the whole package, something along those lines. Yeah, I paint miniatures. I'm into science and gaming and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm the complete nerd package. So I actually did Warhammer, if people know what that is a tabletop game made by a company called Games Workshop, which, like, Space Marines, that's where that term came from. Now there's a story about where StarCraft came from, like that Warhammer 40K wanted to make a game. The people who make Warhammer 40K, Games Workshop, pulled out, but the people who were making were like, well, this is really cool, we're going to continue on. So they just relabeled it and changed a few things and labeled it StarCraft. Now, like I said, this is a story. I haven't actually looked this up. Someone keeps telling me this, but that there's actually at the end screen of like one of the StarCrafts is like a thank you, saying thank you Games Workshop for not suing us or something like that. According to rumors that I've heard, that's a story that's always been told to me.
It sounds like the dang it, what's the term? Like the Berenstain Bears thing, or like the Luke, I am your father. What the hell?
I don't know I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, man. The Mandela effect. Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's probably some Mandela effect.
It could be that they just, where you are certain, everybody's certain that either like a phrase is said this way when it's actually not.
Right.
And it just becomes so ingrained into everybody's brain that either they like the logo of something has this when it doesn't, or if it does have
exactly
something.
Like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's what that sounded like.
Yeah, and so when I say painting miniatures, I stopped doing the actual tabletop gaming part of it, because to keep up with like actually making an army and stuff like that costs a lot of money. The miniatures are really expensive, but they look amazing. So what really kept me going for it was like painting the miniatures. I just haven't done it in a while. Mostly now I've been painting like some random D&D miniatures, but I still actually do have like an army case of old miniatures lying around somewhere. You can probably find some old photos on my Twitter of me when I painted a few of them and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, even if you have pictures of that, I could just show them on the screen. I'd be interested in checking that out. Oh, I was also going to ask you, do you have like a 3D printer? Sorry, just while we're still on the subject of miniatures.
I wish, man. If I had my own place, I don't currently live in my own place. I currently rent a room, so I would, but I don't.
Yeah.
How about that? I would love to, but I don't. It's one of those things where like, oh, that looks so cool to get. I would be making like parts and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be cool, but no, I do not.
All right, when we do the Silentscope birthday stream, now we know what the goal is. All right, cool. So moving on, your dislikes are tomatoes, misogyny, racism. Yeah, pretty much all the other BS.
Yeah.
But tomatoes.
Yeah, I put that up there in the same. I realized I just put tomatoes in the same ballpark as same tier and stuff. I hate tomatoes, man. I hate tomatoes. I don't know what it is, man. Ever since I was a kid, man, just can't. What's crazy? I'm that person that hates tomatoes but can eat like tomato sauce and that kind of thing. I'm that person. Like just raw tomatoes, I can't eat. I don't know what it is about tomatoes, man, but just can't eat them, man. So yeah, they're in the same. Apparently in the same tier as all that other BS, apparently.
So I'll tell you something else, though. If you're ever on a flight and they ask you what you want to drink, ask them for a can of tomato juice.
Why?
I don't know. So when I travel, like, I can't eat right for like 2 days, and then, your stomach gets all messed up. You're like a million miles in the air and whatever it is, but drink tomato juice, and it just makes you feel calm. I don't know, especially when it's like cold tomato juice. I don't know. It was actually a Tecmo Super Bowl who put me onto it a long time ago. Now, anytime I fly, I'm like, yo, let me get tomato juice. I mean, they have it for a reason. It's such an obscure kind of drink, right? They'll be like, oh, you want Coke, ginger ale, coffee? I'll be like, let me get that tomato juice. You got it.
That's the thing. I do this something similar, but for ginger ale, because I was always told that ginger is actually good for you for like motion sickness. Like, because I used to scuba dive when I was a kid. I wasn't that great on like rocky back and forth toppling over kind of seas. Yeah, I could get seasick. And so what we would get was like ginger snaps.
Oh, those are great.
And actually Eat those, and then it would help. It wouldn't make it like, go away, but it actually would help. It could be just a total placebo effect, but we would always feel like it wouldn't affect us that much. So I always got ginger ale when I fly for almost the exact same reason. So I wonder if there's something to that as well. I would have to look into that. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, I think also the tomato juice has like fiber and just the right amount of sugar.
It's good for you.
Yeah, like good stuff. But yeah, ginger ale, same thing. Maybe placebo, but I don't know. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Maybe try to turn that just like.
I'll have to look at it next time I fly out. Next time I go fly out, I'll have to look into that. I don't know if I could drink just straight up tomato juice. I will have to see. I have never tried straight up tomato juice.
Nah, it's good.
The closest thing I've had was like a V8 fusion kind of thing.
Nah, that's literally just grown man's fruit punch. That doesn't count.
Grown man's fruit punch. True.
All right, and then now we're getting to the nitty gritty. Your fun fact: you started out as an online warrior, like many people, with GGPO after watching DSP. Which one?
Yes, that DSP, the King of Hate. Yes. So here's my origin. So I guess we'll go into my origin story. So I had fighting games as growing up as a kid. On my PS1, I had the Street Fighter collection, which had new challengers, Super Turbo, and I think, was it Alpha 2-0? I think it was the one with that one small box with 2 discs that had a really cool box art. And then I also had like Street Fighter Alpha 1 in that like carton case, that like black fat carton case that almost looked like a VHS case.
Oh, yeah,
those things?
Those.
Yeah,
I
remember
those?
Yeah, with a big, huge booklet and stuff. Yeah, that Street Fighter Alpha 1 and that.
Yeah.
So I had fighting games. I just didn't know anything about tournaments, fighting game community at all. And so all the way up until like 2008, even when Street Fighter 4 came out, I had no idea that was a thing. And around that time, I was watching DSP on YouTube. This was before streaming, even before Justin TV became a thing. And so I would watch Phil play, HD Remix online. I didn't have an Xbox at that point. So Street Fighter 4 came out, and I didn't know anything about it. And then 2009 comes around. Now, do you know what happened in 2009 that Darkside Phil and a bunch of the East Coast guys started training for that was happening in Japan?
Oh, yeah, SBO.
And then around at that point, there was they were doing in-person basically training with John Rambo. I think Chris Doyle was there. Damn Die, I think at the time was still there, and I think even Green Tea, Chris Doyle's brother.
Yeah, I was going to those, but I think I went after the first.
Yeah, I think you were the one. Yeah, you were after the first one. I don't think you were there for this one. So This was around when Justin TV literally was like a brand new thing. John Rambo was on like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, yeah, you can play this online against people using GGPO, and I'm like, wait, what? So I scrounged around the internet back in the day, found it out. I didn't know anything about SRK forums, nothing. I didn't know anything about this stuff. And at this point, I didn't have an arcade stick. I never played on an arcade stick except when like I was a kid in the arcades. My first time playing Street Fighter 2 competitively was actually on not even like a PlayStation controller, Xbox controller, a knockoff PC controller. Seriously, with 2 analogs. Yeah, that's when I first started off.
Yeah, I had one of those called the Hammerhead FX or something.
I don't know. Oh, I forget what mine was called, but mine actually had like integrated fans into the hand grips, so to keep your hands cool.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I had the same one.
You had the same one? Oh, that was amazing. I love that thing.
It had 2 joysticks. Yeah, it had the turbo, the lights,
2 analog, a turbo button, all that stuff.
Yo, it was the best.
So, and then from then on, I literally I got hooked, like hardcore hooked. I was playing online as like every time, any chance I get. I wasn't playing other games mostly. So yeah, my first introduction into FGC was actually Darkside Phil when he was training to go to SBO. But yeah, so that's my origin story at the start of FGC. A lot of people, when they see me, always trying to run these old school games and stuff, like they think I'm one of like the quote unquote OGs, like of James Chen, Alex Valle. I'm like, no, I'm relatively new to the scene.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's funny that you mentioned, and shout outs to like, DBT, John Rambo and the whole crew, because Eugene on his episode mentioned the same thing. Like, I used to watch like DBT guys and I thought it was cool, so I decided to get a bunch of people together and keep playing Super Turbo. So it's pretty crazy that it's just a couple of guys in Connecticut. We used to take the train from New York to Connecticut. I think I already mentioned it's like an hour and 40-minute train ride.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but we would go. There's one head-to-head cab, just a couple of guys eating pizza and playing Street Fighter, just streaming it or having it on the camera, and people watched and got into it. I guess now I'm realizing the effect that had. I'm like, I didn't know that kind of like influenced you, but
you guys essentially built it. You guys basically built a generation, the new generation of Super Turbo, essentially.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit up John. I haven't talked to him in years, but I'm gonna have to hit him up, be like, yo, maybe you knew about it, but I didn't know that you had this big of an impact on everybody. Yeah,
well,
actually,
I mean, I didn't pop up into the actual FGC scene until like years later. Like my first major tournament, I always say, is Evo Moment Reloaded in 2014. I mean, like I said, you can find me on like the small tournaments at Southtown Arcade. Like when they were doing Southtown Arcade, this was when KOF 13 had come out, and KOF 13 was really big. That's the game they were playing like every other week or every week as like a Ranbat monthly kind of thing. And then because they had a CVS2 cab and Leezy was there, and they were like, hey, let's do this, and that became a thing. But they had a ST cab, and I always asked them if they could do an ST tournament, but it wasn't that big of a pull in. Nobody really played Super Turbo, and so I was just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be playing CVS2. But yeah, that stuff pulled me in at 2009, started it. I guess the impact of it didn't really happen until years later.
Right. So just like manifested itself at the very beginning.
We'll say the seed was planted in 2009 and it blossomed in 2014, essentially.
Yeah, man. Oh shit. Yeah, I could definitely tell a lot of John Rambo's stories, because we used to hang out quite a bit when same thing happened. I got bit by the bug, played offline, and at that time they're like, yeah, John invited me over. He goes, yeah, like, you're really good, because we used to play online, and he said, try coming offline. And when I did, I'm like, timing's all different, the game is completely different. And then I just got hooked, and I would go, like, at one point I was going every week, just to stay fresh with offline, because Chinatown Fair had an American cab. I'm like, no, I gotta play on the right stuff, like Japanese, sitting down. This is it. This is real life. Yeah. So why did you stick with Super Turbo? You came to the FGC at a time where, there are a lot of different choices for games. You could have been playing Street Fighter 4. You could have been playing, like you said, KOF 13.
Right.
Or stick it out.
I didn't have a console. And it might have been just a nostalgia thing for Super Turbo, because like I said, I had that game on PS1 that literally even though I had no one to play, I didn't play against anybody, not even my brother. My brother hates fighting games, by the way. So it might have just been a nostalgia thing that, God, I get to play this game that I've been playing so much actually against people. This is cool. And so I'm like, I thought I was so good. And then I get online and get my ass beat the shit the first time around. I'm like, oh God, I have no idea how to play this game. So the other games, even though they were fun to watch, I enjoyed watching, like once streaming started becoming a thing with SF4, I even watched a bunch of like DSP's, SF4 series when he was playing that he played that pretty consistently. He tried to get good at it, but failed and decided to stop. And so I would watch it, but it just didn't occur to me to try and get into it. And so I just stuck with keeping with Super Turbo and then CVS2. CVS2, I didn't even know about CVS2 until I got into college. In San Jose State, where I graduated, there was in the student union at the very bottom, had a bowling alley, as well as like a small little, it's not really an arcade, but they had a few arcade cabinets. Most of them were fighting games, actually. There was, in the corner, there was Super Turbo, Third Strike, and then they even got, when it came out, I think they got the arcade edition Street Fighter 4 a head-to-head cabinet down there. But then what else was down there that really hooked my eye? It's that CVS2 cab where the the screen is separated from the arcade sticks. It's that big, huge
Oh yeah, I know.
screen and like the big table in front of it with the two controllers in front of it. Dude, that thing looked awesome. It was loud. Oh god, I started playing. I started just messing around with that and got hooked. And then once I got into ST, like I said, the bug was bit hard. I was watching. Oh, what was that guy's channel that he posted? He had all the old posted. East vs West of Super Turbo.
Oh, Super SF2 Turbo.
Yeah,
YouTube.
Super SF2 Turbo. That channel that unfortunately stopped. But now they're posting it directly from GameSpot Versus, which is fine. I'm glad it's still going. But yeah, I literally went back and watched all those videos. I didn't understand the intricacies yet at that point. I just enjoyed watching it. And then I realized, I could do the same for CVS2, and I did the same thing. I started watching a bunch of old videos from a channel, and his name is LionX, a NorCal player as well that I met when I was still up in NorCal.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. I used to watch his videos too.
Yeah, his channel has a bunch still on there. He doesn't update it anymore. He stopped updating like almost a decade ago now. And I'm like, this is fun. I wanted to learn it for that. So yeah, for me staying in Super Turbo when I had all these possibilities, it just might have been just nostalgia, really.
Well, we lucked out, you lucked out, because we found pretty much the best game.
Right.
Which leads to the next question, which a lot of people always ask, like, why Cammy? So how did you end up getting on Cammy? What happened? Tell us the lore.
Okay, so as you know, like I said, I got in. So I didn't have any FGC knowledge. I didn't know about tier lists. I didn't know who was bad, who was good. So when I hopped online, and I'm like, okay, what characters are not being played? And literally I jumped to the characters I didn't see a lot of was Blanca, Geef, Honda, and Cammy. I actually started off with Honda. I remember that because I remember actually even playing Honda with that actual PC controller. I mapped the controller like how you would normally map it. Like you have heavy punch on R1. It never occurred to me to put like heavy punch on like one of the face buttons or something like that. So anytime I would do hands, it would literally be like medium punch because that's the quickest one I could do was on the triangle of the triangle button on my controller. Literally, that's all I could do. I couldn't do heavy hands because I was like, I can't hit the trigger that fast. It never occurred to me to maybe switch that with a face button, So then I started watching one of the, I think it was a Kabla or something like that. I saw Blanca. I started messing with Blanca for a little bit just because I love doing stand medium, cross up, jump short, stand medium, hop to the other side, do combo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the promo stuff.
Right. And the person who's popped up recently, again, who was a big thing in GGPO, Cigar Bob, I would watch, spectate in GGPO. And I really liked watching his Geef, and I played Geef for a bit. He was doing like stand short into 360. I'm like, how are you getting that? And then realize, he's hiding the inputs. Like that blew my mind and all that kind of stuff. Like, dude, you have to understand how newbie I was. I literally was that person that didn't realize I could hold down back and have charge for both Sonic Boom and Flash Kick. That's how much of a noob I was at that time period. Like, and so I was watching all these old videos, and I think James Chen even mentioned this person. His name is Mike Creaky.
Yeah, he said, I remember he said that name.
Mike Creaky was actually in a tournament where he was fighting NKI, as everybody knows, the task combo video guy, doing all the very famous Super Turbo Shenanigans video that came out recently. No, I say recently. Oh my god,
that was 2008, I think.
Yeah, it was 2008 or something, right? Like, oh my god, my brain. But I saw that match. I'm like, this is interesting. Let's see what this is. And that's the first time I saw somebody do cross under, walk under, cross under, stand medium kick. I think he did fierce in the drill. I don't remember the exact combo he did, but he did cross under medium kick. I'm like, wait, what? Whoa, that looked cool. What was that? And I tried it out. I realized, that's fun. And I started messing around with Cammy, looking at ST Sundays. The Damsai had made a Cammy one of like, use this button, space it out this way, using low forward, spacing it out, kit confirm, all that kind of stuff. And so I started picking up Cammy. People were saying, she's like the worst. I didn't know what that means, that she was like bad, what that meant I didn't realize what that would mean moving forward in my life, of like how much struggle I was going to actually have. But I was used to losing. I was a noob. I didn't know any better. I was gonna lose anyways.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I wouldn't know if I started a game. I wouldn't know what it means for a character to be bad, because I just think like, well, yeah, you know, everyone is strong. Everyone can do stuff. Like,
yeah, it's like I don't know what it means. Like, she's the worst character in the game. I'm losing anyways. I'm like, I'm just gonna play somebody that I don't see anything. I don't see her. Let's go. Let me play with her. And I was having fun. People didn't know how to deal with hooligan throws. Was I even doing that on pad? I was. I actually did even start with her on the because I remember trying to get a fucking hooligan throw, excuse my language, on the goddamn analog stick. I'm like, God, this is ridiculously hard. And I think that's the reason I actually even went to stick. It's like, God, I can't get this thing, man. This is so hard. And then I got what was it? It was like it was that one that it was that white and green.
The Green Goblin stick on the Dreamcast?
360 Xbox 360 Hori stick. That literally only had 6 buttons, not even 8.
Wow, it's mad ghetto.
Yeah, mad ghetto. Yeah, well, it was like cheap. It was like something ridiculously cheap online. It's like $20, $30. I don't know.
I think all the Cammies kind of like have this crazy mutual respect for each other because of like you know, the struggle, I guess, of playing the character.
Like, oh, you stuck with her, huh?
Right, yeah.
I know. And we look at her and nod. I know.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, you don't even have to say anything. Like, I know. Shout out to Harrison Ford, but...
And so picking her, it didn't occur to me that she was going to be low and be hard. So I stuck with her.
Well, again, I think you made a good choice as far as, like, the character representing you. I was listening to a podcast just earlier by UIU. They did a podcast with Jimmy and Alex Valle. And,
I didn't go watch that. I saw that on Twitter. Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, and they asked Alex, like, what advice would you give someone who's, like, getting into, you know, the scene? And basically he said, like, when you pick up the game, like, go through all the characters and find the one that you think looks the coolest, because at the end of the day, you just want to, like, do really cool stuff and be, oh yeah, like, I did that. And, you know, maybe you want to pick, like, the macho character, like, is, you know, Zangief, like, yeah, I want to pick the big character, I'm strong, or, you know, whatever it is, you pick the character because you think they look cool, and then, you know, you roll with it, basically. So I kind of like that advice, and that's, like, the reason why I played my character. I think Dictator's, like, the coolest character because he moves around like a weirdo. That dude's not normal. Yeah, it's just he's such a cool character. I can't imagine maining a different character. And when I do play, you know, another, like, if I play Ryu or Gao, you know, any other, like, sub character I have, I try to play them like I would play Dictator. So moving around a lot and, you know, trying to go for, like, the flash or, like, raw reads. It's exciting for me. So, you know, I think you're definitely one of the people in, you know, the global ST world that's recognized as, yeah, like, you know, the last hope for North American Cammy. So, like, it's good.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, and also some of the videos that I do have pulled up will trigger, like, follow-up questions that I have relating to, like, Cammy and Cammy playstyle. But before we get into watching those videos, like, one question I wanted to ask is, like, how do you describe your playstyle?
Oh man, I can say I'm very much a field player, play by ear, play by heart kind of thing. I'm very much momentum based. That's why I don't like turtling. I don't like sitting back and, like, keeping you out. Oh, this feels. Oh yeah, you jump at me. Yeah, I'll figure. No. I want to get in there and I want to do the crazy stuff. I want to do the really cool looking stuff. I mean, I know James 10 talked about how, you know, Super Turbo and all these old school players are, you know, heart players, whereas newer games are thinking kind of stuff. And I'm very much that. I did not like when new games happen, like having to worry about, this is safe on, so this combo's if it hits, but it doesn't. Yeah, if it's on block, then it's not a true combo. And so that boggled my mind. Oh God, I gotta know this, then this, and then the new season comes out. Oh, they changed everything. I gotta read. Oh, come on,
I gotta
man.
read.
I gotta read this thing and figure out, okay, what's my bread and butter now? What am I doing in this? Yeah. And so one thing that about older games that makes it so you can play by the seat of your pants is that anything on hit is the same on block. So if it combos, that means it's a true block string in the game. And so in Super Turbo and CVS2 have the same thing. There's very few exceptions to that. Yeah. And so you're able to, that's why I think people are able to figure that out. That's why I think I was able to really dig into the game. Like, oh, okay, that's a combo, so I can't do anything in the middle of that. Okay, that means if I do this, I can stagger a little. If I delay it, maybe I can do this. And it becomes very intuitive just immediately. Okay, that's a true combo. That means I can't do anything and that kind of stuff. So I'm very much, for me, gameplay-wise, especially when I'm playing Cammy, very much trying to do the coolest thing I can when possible.
Yeah, actually, my analysis of your playstyle is, I think also a bit similar to me, or like I have some of those traits that you have, but it's more about not just being in the moment, but making the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I like that. I like the way you said that. Yeah. I want to make that moment happen. I'm gonna make you throw this fireball, and then I'm gonna super through it. Let's go.
Yeah, something like that. So that's how I see you, especially when you do a walk up DP. A lot of times you do a walk up. You do walk up roundhouse. Oh, man. Roundhouse uppercut, because it's a huge call out, right? Or stuff like that. Like there are things in your gameplay where it's like the commitment is there. You like I said, you're making the moment. You're not like waiting for something. So that's why going back to your player card, you mentioned like your like the stealth and the tactical stuff in those kind of games. I thought that's what translated into how you play Cammy.
Not really. No, that's the thing. It's like, so in like the stealth games. So for instance, like one of the best stealth games I enjoyed playing up until like the most recent ones was Assassin's Creed. In the older ones, it was very much you were an assassin. You got one hit. You had one hit kills. You try to be as stealthy as possible. You try to find ways to get in. And my whole idea was like, okay, I'm going to find the most optimal route to do it how I think, like almost like trying to make it like movie-esque.
Yeah, you're trying to.
So I'm going to make the moment. I'm trying, like how you said, I'm trying to make the moment happen. Of like, all right, I'm gonna make this go jump over here, hide behind here, jump up there, get to this spot right there. Perfect. Damn, gotcha. And so I think your mentioning of I try to making the moment translates from those games to that, because that's how I play stealth games like that. I don't like waiting for my moment. I'm trying to make that moment happen. Now, granted, it takes me a couple tries because I will fail I'll fail 50 times before I get it, which correlates to my fighting games as well. I'll lose 50 games straight, but then I'll get that one double P and it's like, all right, we're good. Yeah, it all played out.
the time that you get it's a good feeling. Speaking of double P, actually, I did have a funny clip.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's here. I mean, you can just look at Damn-Di's camera down here, but he got a perfect round one, and then he just missed round two. So you can see him over here. It's like, damn it, I should have had that double perfect fighting you. but it's funny because you ended up getting the double perfect on him recently, so this is like karma for him, just being like, I should have had you.
Oh yeah, I know.
So you look at it again.
Like, no. I almost, dude. If I got that a little bit deeper, man, he would have died.
Yeah, he could have been dead. Look at this.
I was a little high on that. Just a little high on that. I did that jump a little. I hit the button too early because wasn't sure because that's old Ryu, so he recovers just slightly faster. So I'm like, oh god, I need to hit him, otherwise I'm gonna get DP'd out. And it's like, and so yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find the actual match of you getting the double perfect, and that should have been your fun fact. You gave Damn-Di's first Dr. Pepper because they got the two P's in the middle.
I still can't believe that's his first double P against him. Really?
That we know of.
The first time someone gave him a double P?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
that we know of. I guess recorded double P. I guess recorded streams or has some recorded value. He's probably been double P'd probably in like casuals and stuff. But yeah, that's it. That was kind of funny.
So when I was just watching this, I was like, oh man, that's karma, because he got so excited he almost got the double P on you, but then he ended up getting him in recent times. And then just another quick clip, guys. Just so you're aware, Super Lore Boys would have never happened if it weren't for Silentscope. So once upon a time, I died or nearly died, and then
Pass that after winning.
Yeah, just
give
brought
you
me back to
CPR.
life.
Come back. You won, man. You won. You need to come back.
That's funny. Not scripted at all. But anyway, all right, let's actually get into your the first match I wanted to pull up, and this is at Canada Cup. Not sure if you remember this. You versus Shogatsu, and this match might be harder than new Honda versus Cammy. Tell me your thoughts on that while I play the video.
It actually plays different. I don't know if it's easier or harder. It's just different. But I was not doing what I should have been doing, which actually going for a throw on a knockdown, because old Honda doesn't have a-cho throw for reversal. Doesn't have the I hold the button and just constantly just piano the buttons when I see you walk in, and so it actually Cammy has a chance. Like literally at that point when I get the safe jump, I could have just gone in for a walk-in throw. Even if he gets a reversal headbutt, I can throw him out of that.
Oh,
there we
really?
go. There's one throw like this. I should just take the throw. Yeah, he got the headbutt out at that point. Yeah, he had enough charge. But so like at that point, I should have just gotten one tick and then gone for throw again, because he can't reversal a-cho me, and I can try and reversal. Do I get the? I tried to punish.
God, yeah.
That was a punish I was actively trying to learn. I was trying to train myself basically when I see headbutt or butt slam to do heavy drill on reaction to it.
Oh shit.
I can almost, I don't know about now, but in my heyday, I could actually get that. Oh, I was waiting for it. I'm like,
Get out of there.
I was looking for drill to hit that thing.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Oh, no,
yeah,
you didn't.
I did not know. I didn't realize how much invincibility that thing had. That thing was a jab headbutt from old Honda, man.
Oh, meaty. All right, you got the grab. Yeah, so you didn't fall for any of those meaty 100-hand slaps where he's just faking them out. You didn't fall for any.
I know he's fishing. Because he's been constantly fishing the whole time. And this is like, I understand this is the third match. This is the third match. He's already up 2-0. So I know he's been fishing for it. And then watch this BS. Oh no, okay. I thought this was the one where he actually went through it. So I redeemed myself to force him, and then he switched to new Honda, kicked my ass.
This was also for the lore for the 55, but
oh my god,
so,
it won't go away.
So
it's everywhere. It's the signs. This is Illuminati shit right now.
So, but actually, the other reason why I wanted to talk about this match is because I think oftentimes people talk about Cammy, and Cammy's just not strong because of top tiers, right? But before we get to that, how does Cammy fare against like the other low tiers? So maybe Honda, Blanca, Fei Long, Hawk.
So,
what are those matches actually like?
So against Honda, obviously it's really bad. Like against her, like 8-2-9-1. James will say 10-0.
Yeah.
Because literally, he actually showed there was one point where he was in town and he was showing, because I was constantly playing Miller and I was getting in wins, and he was like, how is he winning, Tanya? You're doing it wrong. Here, let me show you. And literally, down bag did nothing. I neutral jumped and he was like, nope, I'm not doing it. Why? I'm not doing anything. And it was the most pain in the ass thing I've ever had to fight in my life. Oh my god. But yeah, I still won because I still got him to flinch a couple times, but yeah, so that's really bad for Cammy because she can't throw mix-ups against him because of a-cho, and the problem is because she needs to be in his face, he does better because of the reversal a-cho. The reason why he loses against other top tiers is mostly because they're able to keep him away in some way, even though it's like with fireballs or and projectiles, he has a hard time getting around them because of his big fat hurt box and all that kind of stuff. When he's fighting against someone who doesn't have that capability of keeping him away, then they have to go to him. That's when he shines. And unfortunately, her main thing is to be that close as possible, but it's just becomes not in her favor by that point. Mostly the main thing is because she can't throw stuff. I can't mix in going in for throw, taking and then DPing in his face to bait out a throw or anything like that because he doesn't need to. He can just negative edge.
Chill. Yeah, or
you can just chill. Other low tier, I think it's like, I would call it like a 50-50 for Blanca, because they can give each other hell depending on how the match goes. She gets a knockdown, she can medium, and if he wakes up like Blanca Ball, she can punish it on hit and block with a heavy drill on reversal no matter what. But once Blanca gets the knockdown, she has a hard time dealing with, similarly how Honda has a hard time dealing with like hop over cross up stuff. Her standing medium punch over her head is very bad at actually dealing with that thing, and that thing has such a good hurt box. So I actually think it's kind of 50-50 in that regard. So it becomes very much, does the one person know the matchup more? I haven't really played it enough to really, the only person I've really played it against a lot has been Fromo, and we've kind of gone back and forth, so that's why I see it as 50-50. It's not one you see a lot. So Fei Long, oh my god, Koimon, god damn, man. That guy showed me how bad that match is. Holy shit. So normally I thought I would be able to, her main button is crouch medium kick. That's her go-to button. And if you, I'm sure you remember that one guy bitching that that's the only thing I was doing. That's my macro button for playing against him. And he got mad on Fight Cake. I'm like, dude, that's what she does. It's like you throw fireballs. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's Cammy. I think press crouch medium kick. What else am I gonna do? It's like that's all you do. You don't do anything else. I'm like, It's like, okay. But yeah, and so what I found with fighting Fei Long is that he can space the Rekkas where I can't check him afterwards with crouch medium kick. She can still space it out where DP won't hit her on his wake up, which is great. But if he gets her in the corner, does Rekka pressure, he can space the 2-hit Rekka where I can't check him with like crouch medium kick. Now, if I could, if he tries a DP, I'll just go underneath it and won't get hit. And if he tries to like Rekka again, then I can just, kind of hit him out of it. But she's just out of perfect range where if I press crouch or medium kick, it whiffs. It doesn't hit. But he can straight up Rekka straight in.
Right, bro.
And go right back in and keep that pressure going. And it's like, oh god. And so you have to pay attention to what he's doing. If you try to jump back in the corner, if they're really smart, if they're really good, like Koimon and Balcork is, they'll do like one Rekka, so you jump back, stop the one, and then DP you on reaction because their jump is so floaty. And the worst part is on wake up in the corner. Actually, I think it's anytime on wake up. Fei Long can chicken wing on meaty, and the way the hitboxes work, her DP pushes her forward such that the chicken wing hits her from behind, similar to like jumping over flash kick of Guile. And so you can't, if he keeps doing that, you can't wake up DP. It will actually hit her out of the air, and then because Koimon is good enough, he will reset himself and get the follow-up. And it's like, oh my god. And then now I'm back in the corner again. I tried it multiple times. I'm like, nope, okay, I can't do that. So I have to take chicken wing pressure on the first knockdown. Obviously, after like stand fierce into chicken wing, she can DP and that kind of stuff. Now Koimon, Fei Long. I literally am calling Fei Long Koimon right now.
He's a human personification.
He's the human persona of it. I know, right? Now, Fei Long is big-bodied, so I can get really deep cross-ups, and she can even do fat body combos, so crouch medium cross-up, crouch medium punch, stand fierce in the drill. But I still do crouch medium punch and the crouch medium kick in the drill, because it feels like that actually has a higher chance of dizzying, while the stand fierce into drill actually does more damage, but doesn't dizzy as often.
That's correct. As I found. Yeah, because the mediums do more stun than heavies.
Do they really? Oh, see, yeah. Again, things you just realize just by playing the game. And so I would still go for those and stuff like that. There are, Nakamura was trying to teach me some methods, but there's not really too many in the US for me to practice that against that match, but it's not in her favor. I would say it's like 7-3. It's not horribly in against her, but it's pretty bad. And then the other ones, other low tiers like Zangief, she wins mostly, even though I've been dying recently to Geefs, if you guys have seen my last online tournaments.
Yeah, Mega Man's been on the level up, though.
Yeah, Mega Man is, well, he's the most, I've played him the most with that, so he's learned what to do against that. But dude, Zangief's in Japan, and also Mega Man has learned the matchup now. It's like, dude, I'm like, I have like the worst. It's supposed to be so much in her favor, but I have the worst record against Zangief players.
Well, you did beat
like,
Mega Man at the Canada Cup team tournament, so you still got the offline W.
Yeah, well, and then, well, there was a point, oh, did I send you that picture? I have a picture of, it was me, Nakamura, and TMF when I was in Japan for the CVS2 event, but I was in Tokyo for a little bit, and we played some ST. And he took us to, and we went to where it was like 50 yen a pop, and they were going to have a small little tournament there. And me and Nakamura could not beat TMF. Seriously, TMF went on like a 10-game win streak against me and Nakamura with like the worst matchup in Zangief's history of Cammy. And he keep beating our asses. It's like, this makes no sense. How? I'm like, I don't understand. It's like, how do you know to walk in there? It's like, dude, how do you whiff punish that? It was just, TMF is like people say like the best of like Zangief is like, you know, Pony and Guns. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they are, but my matches against TMF I'm like TMF is the best. He's got to be. There's no way. Like, oh my god, man. But yeah, it's supposed to be really against Zangief because crouch medium kick at far range, he has a hard time, but if he can trade with sweep, he can kind of get in. Once he gets in the corner, like with most characters, he can straight up just kill because he can just tick and then if you try to wake up DP and he blocks, then he just sweeps and goes for it again and all that jazz. But supposedly it's in her favor.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know anymore because
I don't know anymore, man. I really don't.
Wednesday night fights, damned, I actually switched to Cammy for one game against Cigar Bob.
And let me guess, he lost.
Wrecked him. Cigar Bob just wrecked him, dude. I was like, what the hell?
If the Zangief has been, if it's a high level Zangief, I think it's similar to me against Hondas. I've played that match so much now. If some random person just picks Honda, I'm like, okay, let's see if you know what you're doing. Because if you don't, I'm going to kick your ass. It's like, oh, you're going to do that, are you? Okay, let's have some fun. And so it might have been that kind of thing where Cigar Bob has probably played against enough that he knows what to do against that. I think, and same thing in Japan. Most Zangiefs that I realized knew what to do against, like, they were doing stuff like I would do against Honda. They would neutral jump in front of me at a specific range, doing like jumping roundhouse. And I would like try to walk in, crouch medium kick it on the landing. They would immediately do standing medium kick, and it would actually high profile it. It'd actually go over my crouching medium kick and hit me. I'm like, really? I can't deal. And like in the hitboxes, if I try to crouch fierce, sometimes it would trade and not actually hit him out of it. It was some weird thing. I'm like, wow, I do not know this matchup at all, apparently. It's like,
I think
Jesus.
It's definitely much harder to master a Cammy in the US because you need experience against every possible situation. So some people will get thrown off fighting Cammy because it's like, you know, it might be like lack of matchup knowledge, and they're just kind of going off.
But it's the same way
like,
for Cammy. She doesn't have the matchup knowledge against other characters.
Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword, and pretty much, you know, what the other person that's fighting the Cammy's trying to do is just exploit her weakness, which is like she can't block fireballs forever. You know, she's big body, so you can get like cross-ups. Or I'm just gonna jump back and not let them get the hooligan, something like that. But then from your perspective, it's, you know, again, like making that moment happen. So that makes it actually really hard to be able to practice every single scenario and, you know, be ready all the time, basically. It's a little bit challenging for Cammy specifically.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to admit that I think a lot of my early success was mostly from people not knowing the matchup. Not knowing, oh, that's what she can do, this. And so, but once I was like that player that's like the gatekeeper. Like I could beat like everybody that was kind of newish, didn't really play Super Turbo. Once I started playing anybody who was like an OG or had played more than, I don't know, 5 years, I would have the hardest time with. And would lose and all that kind of stuff. But once people started realizing, oh, this is how you play that, and then it become, oh god, now I have to, oh my god. A good example of that is, what's his name? When Free Play Arcade, he was the dictator from Free Play from New York.
E to the NG.
E to the NG. He didn't know about, like, James Chen will tell you there's the button that you need to, every character has the button that you press against Cammy, right?
Yeah.
He says that there is one for dictator. It's stand goddamn roundhouse. Damn that button, dude. Literally after far spacing drill, if I don't space it out perfectly, it punishes.
Yeah.
I can't DP it at max range. It will trade at best. If worse, it actually loses straight up. My DP loses stand roundhouse at max range. It is a nightmare to deal with. It is a nightmare. I was playing, and so he didn't know about that going in. I played him a couple times and he would lose. And then Murasaki, who was there for that Free Play Arcade event, he hops on, he plays me, and literally just Murasaki is just pressing that button all day. Just pressing it. Oh, hooligan jump back roundhouse. There's literally one buttoning me the whole match, and ETNG's like looks at that, and like sure enough, the next time we play in tournament on loser side, that's all he's pressing, and then doing max. And literally, he did a Murasaki on me, which if people know, Murasaki is the best at doing full screen slides at perfect range.
Oh my god!
And he did it to me. I'm like, you ass, dude, really? And like, I got hit by like twice. I was so mad.
I actually remember that. I think the bracket was you had to fight Murasaki on winner's side. He beat you, and then immediately after that,
no, Oto-chan.
No, because I remember you had to fight two dictators in a row.
Did I?
That's what I thought.
No, there was. Well, I might be getting two different free play events mixed up. There was one where I played Oto-chan, and then that one I lost to. I lost to the New York Fei Long player, or East Coast Fei Long. I don't know if he's New York. My bad. There was a Fei Long player I lost in losers as well, and then I remember losing. I know I lost to E to the NG in losers at free play. Who did I lose to in winners? Was he winners and I lost to somebody else? God, everything is getting muddled.
I could have swore it was Murasaki, but I could.
You think it was Murasaki?
Yeah,
I would have to look and check.
Yeah, because I remember you saying like, "Damn it, he watched me fight Murasaki." Like I remember, like because I talked to you right after.
But I think when I said that, I think I was talking about casuals. I thought.
Oh yeah,
it could have been a tournament.
Yeah.
But because Murasaki was on casuals and he watched you, I remember ATNG like watching. Me play against that, and Murasaki just stand roundhouse. Oh my god. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's that matchup for Cammy. Any other of the low tiers? I think those are the main ones. And then obviously Hawk is really bad for Hawk. Because now that low medium is actually really, he can't really just sweep it like Zangief can. Obviously, like Zangief, but more so than Zangief, he can do in the corner. He can do infinite, tick loops. But if Cammy's on point, that's almost an impossible match for Hawk, because you just fish for crouch meeting. Oh, he jumped and Hawk dive DP.
Right, just uppercut.
Yeah, just reaction uppercut. I'm not good at that. My problem is I gotten so muscle memory on seeing a jump and doing stand medium punch, because I always wanted, like I said, I want to do that. I want to do the fancy stuff. I always want to do the cross under medium stuff. As when they jump, stand medium punch, walk under, do this. And so I had a really bad habit of doing that against players I shouldn't have, like Fei Long. I was doing it against like Chicken Wing and getting beat out consistently and that kind of thing. So
that sucks. Well, we talked about kind of low tier stuff. Now we got another match here. This is you against Jimmy Bones, and there had to have been like Cammys in Canada as well, but at this point you're already up 2-0. The pressure's on for both of you guys. So how do you deal with this tier of a matchup? Because Boxer can make characters bleed hella fast. So
right, and so what's good for me is that he's playing a little aggressive. So the one thing where I struggle with against Boxer players is that if they actually do play a little turtley, because Boxer is an interesting scenario where it's similar to Honda in that he can get a life lead and then literally just hang back and do almost nothing. For Cammy,
Oh, nice.
There we go. Yeah, and so he's trying to like, counter poke with crouch medium, but I know that doesn't work. And since I know he's constantly doing that, I'm just constantly going for hooligan because that'll go right over that. But if I get a knockdown, I can do some throw loop stuff. I can get hooligan. I'm gonna be fishing with stuff to outpoke him a little bit. Get him in the corner. I meant to do hooligan.
Yeah, I can tell after that you wanted to cancel the crouch short.
So see, he's trying to do a little bit too much, and so that's kind of, that. Like I said, it kind of goes into my favor that way. If he just sits there and does nothing, it's like, oh god. Yeah, that was. You can see like, oh shit.
Yeah,
you see my hand get off the stick too.
Yeah, that was a pop off.
Yeah, and so if Boxer gets a life lead and sits back, I literally can't do anything. There's not much I can do, and so I can try and poke with like low forward into the drill. But if you're really paying attention, you can headbutt through. And so then he just sits back. Oh, you hooligan, just crouch fierce. Crouch fierce will come out. Jump back roundhouse and all that kind of stuff. So I actually really, even though Honda's the worst, quote unquote worst matchup, I hate the Boxer matchup. Because unlike I know I'm gonna take my time coming forward. I'm gonna walk forward a little bit against Honda. Walk a little bit forward, walk a little forward. But Boxer, roar! Oh great! I just lost a third of my life from random low rushes. Great, awesome, cool. I love it. I hate it with a freaking passion, dude. Oh my god! And the other reason, weird. Yeah. And the one thing, like I said, I always, even if it's the worst possible choice for me, I go for the cross up. I go for it. It's the worst possible choice for me a lot of times, but I'm like, I'm gonna go for this cross up. God damn it! And I go for a cross up, even though it's really pain in the ass to get on Boxer.
Yeah, especially on
I get
Boxer.
It occasionally. He leans. Yeah, he leans, but his hurt box is actually a little bit forward than you think. It's weird. So yeah. The problem with starting off really late in life is having really bad muscle memory for playing against like computer, and then like, oh, I want to do this, so I'm going to do this every single time and realize, oh, against certain things this is really bad. so yeah. Well,
the other reason why I brought up that video is I realized against Igloo's Boxer, I think you use Old Hawk, and we've seen you use Old Hawk for certain matchups or against certain players. So
right, because he actually does have the tick loop against Boxer with one knockdown. Basically, I would say it's still not. I would say the matchup is about the same wise, like it's like 7-3 or whatever it is for both ways. But Boxer, I feel, when I get the knockdown, I have a higher momentum shift of like, oh, I can just straight up kill you now. Whereas Cammy, I get one knockdown, okay, I have a good chance. I have to either get this one mix up, get this tick throw, and get the momentum going. Okay, but against Boxer, especially if I get him in the corner, I get one knockdown. It's like, okay, if I do this right, you're just dead, and you can't do anything about it. So there's very much a higher shift of momentum for Hawk in certain matchups like that, where if I know I got my execution down, whereas with Cammy it's more of, okay, I get this knockdown, the momentum's in my favor, but I still have to work for it. With Hawk it's much more like, okay, you're just straight up dead if I get this right.
Yeah, well, so, with Hawk you're just running a program, you're running a script basically. So right,
and I have a higher degree of certainty of when I get that momentum shift of winning in certain matchups than I do with Cammy, because Cammy, she's not a rush down character. My idea of a rush down character is Fei Long, where he stays in your face all the time. Like anytime a knockdown happens, he can always meet. He gets a knockdown, he's always in front of your face. He can be in front of your face. He can go for the cross ups. Cammy is, I would say, very much momentum based, because after a throw, I'm not in your whereas with Fei Long, after a kick throw, he can get left right mix ups. Even after punch throw, he still can get meaties on you. After a teched punch or kick throw from Cammy, I can't do anything. I'm kind of in the right position to like do a crouch medium, or stand fierce.
Yeah.
But I'm maintaining momentum, not pressure, really. And then like when I get hooligan, it's the only really time I get like a cross
safe
up
jump or a cross
really
up. Yeah,
chance
true.
unless I get a really random knockdown. So I feel she's more of just getting that momentum. Okay, let you get you into my groove of like, okay, now you need to figure out what I'm going to do. Am I going to go for hooligan? Going to go for tick throw, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I feel like actually if more people tried out Cammy, she's kind of like really fun with like the mix-up game and, you know, thinking ahead, and I kind of like that. So I played her a little bit in U Legacy.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I got one more here. So you actually have a really good track record against Chun-Li, from what I've seen, beating out like Chai Rithi, a couple other people, and then this is basically the last game after already
last round
reset.
after he reset.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, that walk up DP. Yeah. I missed the drill at that point.
Oh yeah.
She can't punch throw me in the corner like that.
Yeah, she has to like jump right away.
Yeah.
It's that low forward. Damn, this looks fast, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, what a jump.
Got lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it. This one now, unfortunately, Pup. I understand from what I understand, he actually plays on a pad normally, or he switches depending on which character he's playing. But I think he's playing on a stick now, and I don't know if that messed him up. You'll see one thing, like, I thought he should have goddamn died, dude. That means even if he didn't tech that, he would have survived. I'm like, what? That's nonsense. And then me being this is me going, oh god, I want the win, and not taking it slow. You'll see what I'm talking about when I say he totally messed up. How he got this, I have no idea. Like, obviously he did not want that.
Yeah,
like,
you probably just want to walk up low forward or something.
And I don't know what that was. Yeah. So anyway, and that was me getting first at Texas Showdown. That's one of my bigger wins because it's one of the first, like, you know, huge places of actually like where there was a lot of top players, and then I actually took first place using the goddamn drone. God, I hate it. I should. So the reason why for that, somebody in the audience, he took a picture of it, that jerk, literally said, "Stage dive." I'm like, oh yeah, okay, and then faked it, you know, and literally that's the photo that gets posted for like Silentscope, the winner of me like fake diving into the crowd. I'm like, come on, dude, couldn't pick any better one, really. Anyways.
So Tecmo Super Bowl at one point was just gathering videos. This was like early 2010s, and he was grabbing videos from like GSV of you know, each individual match that happened, and he goes, he's like, like Chun Cammy's kind of not that bad. Like on paper, it's almost even. So I just want to know your thoughts for that match, because I know Cammy gets a good shot at actually landing cross up TOD on Chun. Her fireball isn't like the greatest because it does like vaporize, you know, pretty quickly if it's like a fierce fireball or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, just wanted your thoughts, since we kind of already talked about, you know, Cammy versus low tier, high tier, but now like specifically Chun, since she's arguably the best.
So the momentum swing can very quickly go into her favor. Yeah, because she can get an ambiguous. Also, she has a very strong pressure game in the corner, and because their walk speeds are kind of similar in that they kind of can play that footsie game. Now, granted, yeah, she does have the fireball, but if I can read that, I have a good chance of getting in. But there's actually that's a match I should have given you. There was they did a exhibition match in Japan where the first time we had a huge event where everybody came out to Japan in 2016. We were in Osaka, and they had, okay, who do you want to play? And we'll do a first to 3. And so a lot of people picked Auto-Chun because everybody recognizes Auto-Chun as being like one of, if not the best even now. Super Turbo players. Some people pick Fujimon and
Mao Fujimon.
no, Mao wasn't there. Mao wasn't there, unfortunately. Anakin wasn't there either, unfortunately. Well, this is Osaka, not Nagoya.
I thought you meant like of all time. But yeah.
No,
yeah.
So,
Fujimon, yeah, definitely.
So
there.
Autojun, Fujimon, and I think Atari actually played against Batayan. But anyways, I played against I picked Autochun, and I actually got him down to it was 1-1. Was it 2 out of 3? I think we played 2 out. Yeah, it was 2 out of 3. I got him down to literally he almost lost, dude. I got close, so it can go in her favor. She can get nice cross-ups on because her wake-up options against Cammy are not great. She doesn't, because if she tries to up kick and I safe jump it, I can actually get the cross under stuff in the corner. It looks funky as hell because Chun-Li's still kind of really low to the ground, but I can still get the cross under medium kick. It's really fun to do. And I can get pressure pretty well in the corner because what I can do, one thing that's really strong is that if people know, I love doing the far low forward into light drill. And what people have learned to do a lot of times is jump back. Well, in the corner, Chun-Li has such a high jump that if I do far low forward, cancel into far drill, and they do jump back, I can DP it on reaction. I've actually learned to do that now. And so it's actually not too bad once I get the corner pressure. The problem is still getting in because the buttons are annoying to deal with. Her crouching medium kick fights really well. Auto-Chun was doing crazy stuff against Hooligan. He was doing stand, jab, cancel the fireball to keep the meat away. I'm like, are you serious? He was stand, jab, cancel fireball, so that way when I landed, I'm literally meated fireball, and so now he can pick the range he wants. I'm like, this sucks, dude.
That's why
like,
he's the
oh
best,
my god,
man.
dude. Oh my god. But so I would say she fights it better than most other characters, I would say. Because unlike Boxer, it doesn't have like a quick option like Hooligan to get over of guessing over a fireball and really getting the prep. Because if he gets one guess of like a jumping around us, okay, he gets a hit and he's kind of in there now. If I guess the Hooligan right over a fireball, I get the Frankenstein, and then I get a mix up. So yeah, her momentum gain once it becomes her turn gets pretty high up when she gets a knockdown on Chun-Li. So that's why I don't think it's the worst. I think it's like I feel it's like probably like a 6-4, 6.5, 3.5 kind of thing. Because if the Chun plays it right, it can't. If you notice it can be annoying if they you notice. Don't throw a fireball when you don't have to. Like at max range, you throw a fireball. If you're mid screen, you throw a fireball. A lot of times, even on reaction, I can jump it, and then I'm trading with an anti-air attempt. So right. I would say it's still in Chun-Li's favor, just because I have to deal with fireball and stuff like that. But it can go into Cammy a little bit more than other matches for sure.
Yeah, so I hope through your analysis, because we just kind of ventured through like pretty much her fighting the whole cast almost, like tier wise and matchup wise, that I can change people's perspective on like how good Cammy actually is. Because there might be newcomers who want to get into this game and they're thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna play Cammy, she's low tier. But low tier in this game doesn't mean that you can't win.
There's in this game, every character has a chance. It's just some characters have a harder chance than others. But she has tools. And like there's that one video that says like, it's what's great about this game, everything's broken. Just that some characters have more things that have broken things than others. Like Ryu has dude, his fireballs are broken. He has combos that are broken. He's got this, that broken. Cammy her button is broken. Her Hooligan is broken, but that's about it. So that's the only thing. Her crouching medium kick, and then also her damage is broken, but landing that's kind of hard.
Well, let's not forget her super is also broken because there's someone who put up a video on YouTube, right? About
do you have that? That'd be hilarious. That's like literally my old videos. Like you can tell I'm not like an ST head yet because I still played it in widescreen.
Yeah, that's
in widescreen mode.
That's the only reason why I didn't prop it up, because it's 16 by 9.
Sacrilegious.
But Silentscope did put up a video, guys. It's pretty much Cammy's super against every super in the
Every
game
super
except
I
for
could pull
grapplers. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because what I had to do because there was no like training mode, right? They literally, I hooked up both the 1-player side and 2-player side on the same controller, and then I would do the inputs at exactly the same time. So I do like a fireball super and her kick super, and I found that I could get charge supers by doing like half circle motions. And so I was actually able to do charge motion characters versus her super, and her super, except for Fei Long in every aspect, and except that gets beaten out because Fei Long's is fully invincible until the very last thing. Hers she's only fully invincible until through the bottom. It's similar to actually Sagat's, and depending on which one goes first, it tells you which one will actually beat the other. But hers will go through pretty much we'll go through all through projectile ones, so Ryu and Dalzim completely, and unless you're like max range, which then you're not even going to hit Dalzim, but in any case, we'll go through every other super, even Chun-Li, Dictator. There's a lot of supers that they just whip through, like Ken's super that just goes flying away, and hers just goes under, and all that kind of stuff. Same with Dictator, Meaty. If they're like right next to each other and they both wake up, they just go past, which is no big deal. But yeah, the one weird one that I didn't realize that she loses to in some aspects, and sometimes though, depending on like range and timing, is actually Blanca's, because they tie at the very beginning, because they don't actually hit each other because they both have invincibility. But then, for some reason, his hitbox and her box is better than hers on her way up thing. They actually lose like on the last hit. I'm like, what? That's weird. It's like almost like Fei Long. It's really strange. It's a really an odd one. So if you ever, the thing to beat. I know, it's she loses the low tier supers. Yeah, low tier character supers. Obviously, I couldn't. The only one I couldn't do reliably and to put in the video was Giles. But most likely it would just gone under like most of them. Yeah. Just because I couldn't do a fireball super as well as doing the ridiculous motion that is Giles super in that game. So
now you have a new mission. You have to recreate that video, but in 4x3 with Guile as well.
Well, that'll be easy. I could just use 30th anniversary with training mode.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Cammy's not as bad as people make her out to be, and she can be fun, and it's rewarding to be able to do all that stuff. But all right, I got another video. Let's see, it's gonna be this one here.
Oh boy!
Only because we do have to transition to this topic anyhow. So
yeah.
OG's never end.
This is oh god damn it, boss.
Oh, he went with the H0 tech. Let's go.
This matchup, dude. Oh my god.
Now it's funny because at Canada Cup, you did 3-0 Justin's old Sagat, and
I did,
and yeah. I didn't cue that matchup, but actually you were on a tear at that tournament as well. And the way I recommend you guys watch it, because normally if I pick a match just to like tell a story about it, so it's not necessarily that you would win or lose each match. It's just kind of talk about it. And actually, I want to use this time to talk about CVS too, but I'll just tell the Justin story. So that Canada Cup, you beat Justin. Oh, that block string is, I can't even finish telling my story because look at this. Let's go. Anyway, all right.
Well, there's gonna be a moment where I know what's going to happen and I'm gonna get pissed.
Yeah, let's just watch this first. All right.
Yeah.
Damn, what a punish. Yeah.
Is it this one, or was it a Tool Too Furious where something I expect happens? Okay. Not yet. This stupid matchup, dude. So annoying. Oh, I'm mad. I didn't get Stan Fierce, and he got reversal friggin' DP.
What an anti-air. Come on, let's get this.
Looking for a button.
Went for it. Yeah.
I'm looking for a button. I didn't get that Stan Fierce, and he got that. When he got that reversal DP, I was so mad. Because I wanted my true block string. It didn't come out. But anyways.
Yeah.
There was another one that he's beaten. I actually have a losing record against Boss in every tournament that I've played.
That's a tough match.
I think because he's beaten me at Tool Too Furious in New York. That one is truly 9-1. That thing is just stupid bullshit. I
even
will.
the cross
We
up
keep
is
talking about it.
hard.
I will get pissed. Oh my god, that,
Well,
that
let
thing is just
me bring it back
mindless.
to the good point. Let me bring it back to the good points. That Canada Cup, you 3-0 Justin, and then we would have fought in the bracket, but then I lost to Justin right after. And then you were like, what the hell? We were supposed to play. I was like, yeah, I know, because we just became good friends at that Canada Cup, right? And then,
Right, yeah.
So then you had to fight him at the run back. I'm like, oh shit, well, good job to you. You're about to make it into top 8, you know? But then all of a sudden there was a download. But forget that match. Who cares about the download part? The way that you played him initially on the winner's side, I recommend everyone to watch that. Like I said, it's a full 3 games, so I was gonna like show all that. I just want to show like all the matches that tell like different aspects of your gameplay, but it was ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, he adapted, and the thing is, I think him going through losers, he had to go through like 4 more matches than I did. Like I had like going through winners, I only had like 2 other matches. Like I only played him, and then I think I had 1 other, and then played Shogatsu, and then I had to play him. He had to go through like 5 people, including you, or something ridiculous. So he got his practice in, got his reactions down. And then he did, was it during that one? He started doing something that I didn't realize you could do. There's one thing that you noticed that I was doing against Boss is I would do kind of like a late jumping short over his head, right? Like that looks like a semi-high cross up, right? That's what I'm doing. What I didn't realize, so I would do that because if they wake up DP, I actually get behind their head and I can straight up punish it with a
TOD basically.
big combo.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a touch of death combo, yeah. The thing is, what he was doing, he tiger kneed out. He straight up reversal tiger kneed away. I'm like, you could do what? I'm like, oh god, now I'm screwed. And literally, he's just kept doing that. I'm like, and so I don't have that adaptive powers. I'm like, nope, I'm screwed. And so he had his reactions to what I was doing. He figured out, oh, okay, I can just sweep at this point, do this for the anti-air. Yeah, he had it. He realized, oh, okay, after playing 4 games straight, getting his muscle memory down now, it's like, oh god. Yeah, he played that. I would suggest people watching the first one and then watching the second one to see what it means to like truly adapt to a style of play. Because you can see my like, damn, that was crazy. And then you can see Justin going, oh, he did that for that. Oh, wow. How did you even know to do that? I think he just tried it just to see if it worked. He goes, oh, that works.
Yeah,
cool.
he's probably in his mind, he probably thought, I tried everything. I can't get out of this. Let me just try some new shit. And then, oh, well, I guess I could tiger knee out because he's, delaying the jump, and then boom.
Yeah. Well, I would use that as a tick throw because it's an old character. I just get, okay, having a hard knockdown, let's go again. Hard knockdown, let's go again.
Right.
And I would just keep doing it. So
I think you play the Old Scout matchup really good. I like watching you play Old Scout. It always feels like an uphill battle, but once you get the one throw or like the hooligan, I'm like, all right, here we go. Like, can you get 4 more reads in a row now?
Well, let me walk up DP in the face 5 times.
Yeah, so the reason why I brought up Boss is because, you're not only an ST player, you're also a CBS2 player. One of the rare people who's known as a ST main, but also has CBS2. And maybe when I first started, like when we first became friends playing each other, your ratio of CBS2, from my understanding, was more like, 9-1 is ST, right? Like ST is 9, CBS2 is 1. And then little by little over the years, it's kind of like, it went down to 7-3, then it went to 5-5, and now I feel like it's almost the opposite, where it's like 9-1 CBS2.
Pretty much. It's kind of switched around lately. And the reason for that was that early on, there was no good way to play it online. There was no people who were playing it at my college. The only time I could play it was either taking the trip, I was in San Jose to San Francisco, and I took the BART and train up there, and that took me like you would do an hour and 40 minute transport just to get there. And so that was my thing, to do that once a month. And so I desperately looked for a way. There's got to be a way for me to play this at home, because I didn't have a PS2 or a Dreamcast or whatever to play it at home. So I looked up emulators. The first one I found, I think, that I mainly used was PCSX2.
2? Yeah.
You know, that there was somebody made a online version. So what sucked about that was that somebody made an actual version that actually had online play. It was very bad. Now, granted, PCSX2 actually has some integrated delay that we found. So it's actually not even that great of an emulator to play that game at home. And so, but someone had this thing, and I desperately tried to get people. There was a CVS2 Discord that it's still going now. That's the same CVS2 Discord, but the guy who's like the mod is not even in it anymore. I think somebody else is the mod now. But it was something where we're trying to get people interested. Hey, we got this thing going. We had a few players, but it's hard to get it going when it's like a bitch to set up, because you have to find the BIOS, you have to find the game file, all this jazz, and the emulator is not very intuitive of setting up. It doesn't have this quick setup thing or anything like that. It was very much a thing where it was like, it's like you had to be like
you gotta watch YouTube videos. Yeah, that was tough. Those were really tough to set up.
That's why I made videos on getting that thing to work, because god damn, the thing's a pain in the ass to get working. And so there was no really way for me to play against people. So I would keep wanting to play it, but there's no way. So I kept playing ST. Then I moved to SoCal, where I found out, Don's Arcade, cool. And then the last couple of years, because there was like one or two guys that were there consistently, started going there. And the most recent years, we found the Dolphin, playing CVS2 on Dolphin, which is a GameCube emulator. Everybody was very much like, I don't want to play that on GameCube. It's not the quote unquote, a real CVS2, because it's EO and whatnot. But it had such a good enough online that we're like, this is pretty good. Like, God, this feels great. Because I saw like Nerd Josh playing it at one point, and he wasn't part of that mindset. I was of the mindset like, I want to play real CVS2 for a long time, and then I saw him play it. Oh, that looks actually really smooth. Tried it out, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I will take the bad version of CVS2 just because this actually has good online play. And so we were playing that for a good couple years, and then someone brought up this new null DC. I had null DC on my computer at one point, but it didn't really have. The only way that could play online was the old Kylera freaking servers and all Kylera netcode and all that jazz. Ugh, make me vomit. So, and then someone said, hey, I know you guys are doing it. Try this out, man. And it was some new thing. I'm like, okay, sure. From what I understand is basically they set the game to run at maximum FPS it can, and then they have a frame limiter. And so basically having it run so fast kind of masks sometimes some slowness sometimes, or something like that. I don't know. That's the idea behind it, from what I understand of this new setup. But we tried it. It was very hard to get going to start off with, because you literally have to go into like literally the game, the program file, like the notepad doc, and change like, okay, here's my IP, plug this into here, set delay to this. Okay, now we can play. It's like, oh God almighty. Okay. And so, all right, we'll try it. But it worked, and we tried it against people. Okay, this is working. We even got boss to get it working, and like delay 5. I played against Inaba online. That was kind of funny.
I didn't even know that.
There's actually, I think there was I streaming at that point? Yeah, I think there's even like the archive is not there anymore because they deleted all that stuff from now. But the point where I tried that out, and we got boss to get it working and all that kind of stuff. That started getting updated by Blueminder, who is now working on the Flycast version of CVS2 Flycast stuff on Fight K2. And then we found out, and he was updating that, making it a little bit more accessible, adding like an actual UI user interface, like a press this, add this, and that way we didn't have to go into the actual game file and all that kind of stuff. And then there was some person that we didn't know, named Rosin X, made this thing called Bear using the exact same thing, using the exact same online null DC system, but he put it all in a very nice package where we would use Radmin to use virtual IPs, and it would recognize those virtual IPs and basically have a room like you have in Fightcade. Now, because it's not an actual server, there's no like chat or anything. He's updated that so that you can actually DM people. You can actually direct message, but there's no, public chat room. But if people are there, you can challenge people with the games. He has access. I don't know where he got them, but he has access to archives of like all the Dreamcast ROMs,
Yeah,
all
that
these
shit is ridiculous.
Naomi ROMs. Oh my God. Like all the Dreamcast stuff you can get is on this thing that you can download and play offline if you want to, or against people. And that's what we've been playing on. And so I think it's because and a lot of people ask me like, why is CVS2 like your favorite game and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's because I've been able to play ST for so long and I just haven't been able to for CVS2, and now being able to, it's just like the new hype for me. I'm like, I can play this now. But at the moment, yeah, it's kind of like I would say if like I will never stop playing ST in person. Like if there's a tournament and there's CVS2 and ST, I am signing up for ST for sure. But if there's two cabs and there's an ST, a CVS2, and I have to choose one, if there's at least one other person on the CVS2 cab, I'm hopping on the CVS2 cab. I'm sorry, it's the way it's gonna go.
Yeah,
it's
funny.
I put CVS2 more. I have more fun playing CVS2 currently than I do playing Super Turbo. It's just, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's because I've just been able to play ST so much. Now it's just like I know that experience. Now it's just maybe now it's that because I can play chances to play CVS2, now I can experience all those new stuff, and it's just feels still new to me of learning the match. I'm still learning much about the game. I'm not the best at it, and by any means, I'm still, people put me kind of high up there. I'm definitely nowhere near any of the top level players, but I can hold my own for the most part because I've played it enough. But yeah, it just became a thing that we have this opportunity to play it, and now that I have this opportunity, I just like, I'm holding on to it for dear life. It's like, don't go away. This is amazing, please. But yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's funny because actually another fun fact is we've probably played each other in more CVS2 than we have
than Super Turbo.
Like at Don's Arcade, at Spring Series, maybe even at Canada Cup. Like,
was there CVS2
I think
setups?
So. I think
there was, yeah, well, somebody brought one setup, I think.
Yeah.
Like somebody had a PS2, set it up, and I think, did we play on that though? I don't remember.
Well,
but I know we definitely have played more probably CVS2 matches, even now because we've been playing it.
Yeah, now we've been playing
online.
It online, yeah. But
then we actually have of playing Super Turbo. That sounds about right, actually.
But we make up for it because we fought each other quite a bit in tournament, so.
Yeah.
But still, like total number of games, I've played you more in CVS2 than I have in ST. It's funny.
Yep. I mean, just like I said, I don't know. It's because might just be due to the fact that I've been able to play ST for the last 12 years, and I've only really been able to play CVS2 like strictly like a lot only in the last, I don't know, 3 maybe 4, because Don's Arcade was only since like 2016. Yeah, so for maybe 4 or 5 years have I really been putting in the work. Yeah, there's a picture of Don's Arcade. It's not as bright as that. That has the filter on to make it look that bright.
Yeah, but that's great.
That's at 9 p.m. It's not that bright. Those things are only thing illuminating that garage is the lights from those arcade cabs. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things where, and then there's always at least one person that shows up to that Don's Arcade. There's obviously Don's Arcade is more for, actually has, I think, was it 1, 2, 3, 4 third strike cabs that are head to head. 4 setups, I mean, 4 third strike setups that are head to head. But he can switch them to, but he switches one of them to, usually switches 2 of them to Super Turbo, or 1 or 2 of them for Super Turbo for us. And then there's usually like hyper fighting in the background. And then there's the like the PS4 setup with the monitors that usually sets up like SF5 or any of the new games that people want to play. And then a lot of times somebody brings like either another PS4 so they can do more setups there, or someone will bring some random like PS3 game, or he'll bring out the Dreamcast and have other games on there like King of Fighters 98 and 2002 or something like that. And there is an MVC2 on the other side as well. So all the major old school games that you would find back in the day, you can find at Don's Arcade. So yeah, been able to play that every week, dude. I was doing it consistently. I was like, okay, I am going to go there and I'm going to stream CVS.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this where you started streaming? Because I remember.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
How did this? Because I thought that this picture would probably start that story on how you got into streaming. So maybe you want to get into that.
So streaming happened. During when I was doing more Super Turbo at Wednesday Night Fight. So this was when Wednesday Night Fight Super Turbo was weekly, with Eugene and Tanya setting it up. And then there was a friend of ours that I became friends with there as well, who was doing the streaming. Her name was Sharon. Tyrannosaurus Rex was her Twitch. And she was originally the person who was streaming all the Super Turbo stuff. She figured out all the material, would stream it. She had all the setup. She even had like the big lamp lights and all that kind of stuff. She went ham on this thing. I don't want to go too much into detail because it's very personal for her, but basically something personal happened during an event where she stopped wanting to stream. Basically she was at an event and something happened while she was gone, and it kind of ruined her mood to stream. That's enough I'll say about that. So she stopped streaming it. But Wednesday Night Fights Super Turbo was still happening, but it just wasn't getting streamed or recorded in any way. And so I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to figure out how to get this. So I contacted her, messaged her and say, hey, what setup do you have? What's the setup you do to get this working? And she basically gave me a whole, I might have the what's it called?
PDF.
No, she sent me like just literally a hand-drawn picture of like basically a Venn diagram of like what this plugs into this, plugs into that. And sure enough, basically I went out and bought because they were using S-Video, because this was the undammed CBS2 setups. So I would get an S-Video. I got an S-Video splitter. I already had a gaming laptop that I could connect it to, so I was okay with that. I got the streaming software. I got a splitter, and started very bare bones. I just basically grabbed the game input and was going through like a normal head microphone with a headset and a microphone just to get it started. Then I built it from there. Then I started getting a mixer, started getting audio into that, then actually getting hand microphones for the mixer, all that jazz. And then streaming started from that, of streaming that old school stuff. So my first streaming wasn't even streaming from like home or anything. It was streaming from S-Video output, RCA output. So that was kind of fun to figure out how to do that. And then how that got to Don's Arcade, I realized people were able to stream from arcade cabinets, but I didn't know how to do that. And so I looked up what it took to stream from arcade cabinets. I know I reached out, I think it was Arturo at one point.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be him.
Yeah.
Him and Atari, I think, were the two.
Yeah, him and Atari. And then so I found basically the cabinets that Don has what's called, it's like, people ask me, why are you using JAMA? It's like, because that's what he has. That's what he has for his freaking cabinet. I didn't make the cabinet. People say, why don't you use the VGA? Because he doesn't have VGA. So he has his Naomi boards has JAMA output, which basically is a circuit board output. This circuit board like fin output. And I found out, okay, there's a thing that basically makes a splitter that outputs the same output that goes back into the arcade cabinet so it can play. Then outputs SCART. Okay, I need to turn SCART into something, and that's where I looked up. There's a thing called an OSSC, which is a Oh God, upscale something.
That's what they're That's what Art was always talking about. That.
Yeah,
the
well,
OSSC
that was before
some shit.
Yeah. So it's a scaler that you can plug in VGA, SCART, and even component cables and output HDMI. And then it didn't have any. And so I got that. Now with like Dreamcast stuff, now they have the DC HDMI stuff now to make that even better. But this is going through cab. I still had to go through the JAMA. So I had SCART to this. That output to an HDMI, then that HDMI would go into a capture card. I originally got a, what are they called? What's the most common gaming capture cards? Who makes them? Scrap my brain.
Hold on, let me see what I got. I just bought a capture card that's sitting here somewhere. Hold up.
Oh, come on. Brain, oh my God. It's the most common one you can find.
I don't know. This says what? Macewell?
Elgato capture
Magewell?
cards.
Oh, I don't know.
No, Elgato. Magewells are good. That's a really good capture card. Those are high-end shit. I don't have that one. Yeah. That's high-end stuff.
I bought it. I haven't set it up yet, though, but yeah, it's here somewhere.
So I have got the regular Elgato capture card, which is normally for... You okay?
Yeah, I just threw it.
Okay. Please don't. Those are expensive. I'll take it. Don't throw it. So I originally started with an Elgato capture card, which is normally for just straight up PS4, Xbox, PC stuff. And I tried that, but I didn't realize that the output coming from an OSSC, especially old school outputs, aren't exactly 60 frames per second. They're like 58, 59 point something and fluctuating, and the Elgato fucking hates it, dude. It would read it sometimes. I would have to like reset it 5 times a day just to try to get it to get output. I'm like, and then finally I found a new capture card that captures that actually is made better for old school inputs, and then that goes into my, and then sure enough I started using that, and then I put that into my laptop, and then I captured from cabinets. So yeah, I actually have, I think he still has some of my like some of my equipment, like the original the little circuit board thing that splits it. I think is still actually in Don's arcade cabinets, just because it's a pain in the ass to take it off and on all day. So I'm like, I'm gonna be here every week. Just keep it on. I'll come back.
I'll come back.
You can have it. I actually had this really funny thought in mind at one point of making, like, I was like, for like one day I'm going to make it so that Don's gonna have his own stream setup where he can switch to like any cab in there. Like he'll like have this gigantic thing of like just all this thing splitters, and then he has this one switcher that can switch to any one of those coming. So all of the cabinets will have split out of like SCART cables essentially. There's a giant SCART switcher that all these can come in. All of them would be working fine, but then he can choose, okay, cabinet 1, okay, let's see what's happening there. The only problem is you have to get audio separately. So that means you would have to have you would have to have a splitter and capture all the because they output audio via RCA, yellow and red, to get to audio. So I would have to do that as well. I do that as well because I put that into, oh, that's right. And then I get the audio by putting that into a mixer, and then putting that back into and another capture card, putting that into my laptop as well. So I have 2 capture cards going into my laptop, one to capture audio, one to capture video.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because there's like levels to the streaming shit. I mean, I got into it, like in May 2020. So for me, it's just like, oh yeah, just load up a game. But I know that you streamed like Evo and for ST, and yeah, you stream quite a bit of stuff. So I've recognized you as a streamer for a while now. And now you got Coastal Versus Series, which you allowed me to help out with, which is dope.
I appreciate the help. It takes a little bit of burden off of me on the second time around. Yeah, it's been I enjoy it because a lot more people are coming out to the events now instead of my one-time CVS2, because now we're keeping it coastal, where East Coast plays East Coast, West Coast plays West Coast, so that way they have good connections. And so we have a lot of people that come out for the East, good number come out for the West as well, and it just seems like everybody enjoys that a lot more. So yeah, I am happy for that.
Definitely keep it up, and hopefully,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully you can play more ST with us. You know, Wednesday night fights and stuff like that.
I mean, the only thing is the online, like I was really slowing down on online ST mostly, anyways. Even when before COVID and all that kind of stuff. So I've been playing so much offline with Wednesday night fights and during Wednesday night fights and all that kind of stuff when going to tournaments and stuff that once I had to like force myself to get back onto online. It was like, oh god, I forgot how much I hate this. Oh Jesus, oh god. It's like, yeah, I can't play this right now. And then after trying it one more time when Wednesday night fights started doing ST, all right, let me hop back in. Let me see if I can hop back in. Wednesday night fights online. Okay, this will be fun. And I realized, oh yeah, this is not going to work out for me. Yeah,
we need the Cammy practice, bro. We need you.
Man.
We need you in there. Everyone's gonna forget how to play against Cammy, and then.
Well, you during your lucha, what's the name of your
Super Lucha Callera? Well, that's the H0.
Yeah, you got it. Well, you got Assassin to play that one for practice.
Yeah, but I mean, Assassin ain't no scope. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
But. Anyhow, one time I was at speaking of streaming, one time I was at Myung's place, and we were just playing ST, and you know, he had the TV on. I was like, that guy looks like Silentscope. It is Silentscope. And then I sent this picture to you online, but I guess so you were at GameSpot versus and whatever, and I was like, all right, I guess he's in Japan to play CVS 2.
So that was during KSB. That was happening. That was 2019? I want to say.
No, this was
2019.
Yeah,
was it 18?
2019. We were already shut down.
Yeah, we were shut down for 2020.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Forget it.
What?
Damn,
forget
it.
So 2019. I'm pretty sure this is 2019, and so the year previous, the 2 years previous, was it 2 year previous? 20. Yeah, it was. Yeah, because what I did was at 2016, we went to Japan that was when there was a large gathering of like French, Spanish. Europe, basically all of Europe, most of Europe, a lot of the SoCal guys went out to. There was like 40 people, foreign people, to Japan and played in Kakurugo. I think that was 2016. 2017, I think I switched to. I played in I went to I traveled the most often to. I stayed local. I went to. I think that's the Texas Showdown, all I went to all the local stuff, and then 2018 I went back to Japan. Oh, maybe it is 2018. Damn it, God, my brain. I'll whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that was for my brain. Holy shit. But anyway, and then this time around I realized that I missed. The first time around when I was there, they also during the same Kakurugo week, because this was Golden Week, they had a CVS 2. They had a CVS 2 event happening as well. But in order for me to go, I would have had to have done some really crazy stuff to get there. And it was like, no, there's no way I'm going to be able to get there. They were happening roughly around the same time and all that kind of stuff. And so the next time I went back to Japan, I wanted to actually do for CVS 2, and because I had been playing a lot more of it, I started to know Boss more, and there was an event happening called KSB, also KVO, that was happening in Osaka, but I had stopped off in Japan a week early and was staying in Tokyo for a little bit, and because the week before, GameSpot Versus hosts a monthly CVS 2 event, which is what the picture is showing, and it was happening just the weekend just before the event, and so I stayed there, went to GameSpot Versus, played their tournament. I went 1-2. I lost to Momo, who is one of the best C group players in Tokyo, playing C Yama Iori. Is it Iori Yama Rolento? I think that's his team. Yeah, something like, I think it's Yama Iori Rolento, something like that. And then I beat somebody else, and then I lost to David, who was also an AKA Gunter Japan, who shows up in every time in our chats. But if you ever look up A Groove combos, even now he's making new ones. But even old school A Groove combo videos, they're most likely made by David, aka Gunter Japan. So I lost to him. But yeah, I went there, and then I was playing in that. I had a lot of fun. I think, like most GameSpot versus stuff, you have the most fun because every single cab is now set to CVS2, and so there's like 5 cabs of people playing, and so it's just all casuals of CVS2. It's the most amazing. I'm like, oh, I can play CVS2.
So now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before we move on to this video. If you were at GSV right now, and you can pick between having all the cabs as ST, and plus you can pick the players, so you can be like Kurashi's there or whatever, or all the cabs are CVS2, which one would it be? Even though Super Lore Boys and it's an ST podcast, you can be real.
Oh, I would pick CVS2 in a heartbeat, man. Ooh, sorry. I would pick CVS2 in a heartbeat, and I would grab all. You gotta understand, there's a lot of if I could pick the character players, dude. There's so many players because CVS2 has been. Even right now, Boss is kind of making it a comeback right now. He's hosting events constantly at Big 2 and all that kind of stuff. Inaba came out of retirement essentially. He's always, you have P Groove guy who's constantly there with like when they do like the house
he's
trains.
Mad funny.
Boss has kept it alive most recently. Boss actually stopped doing oh, that's what it was. Yeah, because Boss wasn't doing CVS2 tournaments for stopped the national. It was called CVS2 Nationals. He stopped it for like a year or two, and then he brought it back. And I was supposed to go for the one happening in 2020, but obviously that didn't happen.
That sucks.
And so there's a lot of players who I've watched in YouTube, when you go through the YouTube videos of CST, you have Kurahashi, you have Kotaka Shoten, you got Fujimon, all that kind of stuff. In CVS2, there's plenty of those players, but have all kind of almost reverted back or almost retired because it's very hard to get the game going. It's not very widespread yet, as ST was at that time. And so it wasn't something you see that often. And so if I could, man, I'd be picking, oh my God, I would be picking players that are like semi-retired, like Gon, who's actually won Evo Japan twice since the only two people who have won Evo Japan is Boss and Gon, who's won it one of the 2 times before. You didn't really see him much anymore because he's mostly in Osaka, so you don't see him in like the GameSpot versus because it's he doesn't he's not gonna travel all the way up for it, but he's like one of the best in Japan. And so you have all these players who I would love to see still play, but you just don't see them anymore. And so yeah, I would set them all to CVS2 cabs, get all these players that I'm like, oh, can we get this person, please? It's like, I know he doesn't really play anymore, but can we play? Can he come in, please? Oh my God, yeah. It'd be an automatic switch to CVS2 just so I can get all these old school players. Like one, I off the top of my head is EO. Oh my God, IYO. Yeah, people don't know who that is. Old C Groove player that played C Dalsum, Maki Rolento.
Oh, Maki. Okay.
That was, and it was the most badass player. Like the guy was ridiculous. Like holy crap, dude! What he could do with that team was crazy.
And by the way, I do have this match playing on the screen right now. I know you wanted me to pick a different CVS2 match, but I picked this one. There aren't any captions, but it's Silentscope player 2 picking a really obscure team. So you guys thought he picks Cammy and ST.
I guess I'll go a little bit about this actual setup. So what happened was, this was actually this event happened after KVO KSB, where I actually got top 9. I actually got tied for 9th place, just before top 8. And then the next day, in Kyoto, which was about an hour train ride away from Osaka. Damn, that autocorrect didn't show you.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yep. They were holding a 2v2 event at a-cho. If you can find a-cho on YouTube. They post like weekly of random games, but CVS2 used to be more common, like every week. It's not so much anymore. You don't see it at all anymore. Actually, well, obviously, but even when this was happening, it still wasn't like, it was mostly like every month you would see it, but now you wouldn't even see it much anymore. And so they were hosting a special 2v2 because I guess of Boss and all that kind of stuff. And so this is me so it's me and Boss actually teamed up. And so I decided to I wasn't playing my main team, which at the time was K, Chang, Morgan, Rugal, and K-Groove. I was messing around with A, Chang, Benimaru, and Rugal, just for funsies. And because this was just a fun 2v2, just gonna have some fun, why not?
And so you also got Boss carrying anyway, right? So it's like, I might as well.
Boss carry, yeah, but you understand who we're fighting. So the person I'm playing his teammate is gone. The person I'm playing, I think his name is gamer tag is M.Suri, M.Souri, I think. But his teammate is gone. The person who won. Now unfortunately Gon couldn't make it to. Oh yeah, I love this combo so much. There's so much damage.
Yo, what time's it on the clock though?
55.
Just saying.
55.
Just saying,
dude.
Yo.
It's the Illuminati of fighting games, I swear. So and then what you don't see after that is Boss losing to. So basically they did what's it called? It's not Pokemon style. What's the opposite one? One and then
style.
2-2. So Waseda style, yeah. So they did. I played him. Gon played Boss, beat Boss, and then just destroyed my ass with A Groove Iori, and just destroyed me. I'm like, I've never felt so like powerless against a player in my life. I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
I didn't get OCV.
Killers. CVS2 has like the killers are just ridiculous in that game.
Oh man, the killers in that, and then we had to play. Who did we play? We then also had to play Rai and Kiku. If you don't know who those two are, Kiku and Gon were the ones that did the first to 10, the most recent thing, and Kiku won that one. And Boss somehow beat him just by luck, actually, by like pixel luck. But I had to fight Kiku in that, and dude, it's the same thing. I'm like, oh my god, I can't do diddly squat against this guy. And then we got out of our pools, and then we had to replay the same person again. We play M.Suri and Gon again in like top 8 or whatever it was. And then so I played against him. I won again in a closer match though, but with a really cool ending where where we're down to like pixels of life. He scissor kicked me, but I activated it right on time and almost completely punished, but I messed up the CC, but then he stopped blocking, so I'll take it. And then Gon came in, beat Boss again, beat me again. It's like, cool. That was fun. So yeah. There's plenty of killers that people don't know about. Like even like you and I were on earlier today, did our East Coast tournament, and we had Gene, who's one of the top US players, Gene Wong, top A group player, and we were talking about a player named Uwabe. Now I recognize Uwabe just because he's much more of a newer player, but he was in a lot of the CVS2 videos that I would watch on YouTube. But Gene didn't know about him. But Uwabe was the one who actually won the most recent CVS2, the Rollympic that Boss was hosting. Basically, that's a CVS2 national that he started back up again, and he won it. He got first place, and he won first place on the single side. And Gene was like, "Who the hell is this guy? This guy's amazing." I'm like, "I know who. How do you not know Uwabe?" Like, I don't know who this guy is. I'm like, okay. And then in the chat we realized, Dave was like, dude, I remember when Uwabe was trash.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that tells me that he was very much kind of a much newer player when the game originally was kind of in its heyday and has grown very much stronger. So there's a lot of players of CVS2 that people will just be amazed by, who play really obscure teams. Like there's a player named Chari who plays Honda Vice Sagat is his main team, and like the guy is the best Vice in the world. There's a guy in the Nagoya area, I think it's Nagoya area, named Yamamoto, whose A Groove team consists of Sakura, Hibiki, and Kyo, as usually Kyo is his last anchor.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, and so that's where I got my inspiration of doing like A-Kyo later on. Is watching him play. You have like Kitsune, who plays who beat me in getting to top 8 of KVO, who plays Kei, Chun-Li, Hibiki, Sagat. You have Daidorok, who plays N Groove, N Akuma, Rolento, Kyo, or Chun-Li. He plays a lot of different characters in that, but like one of the best N Groove players. You have so many of these players that people think of CVS2, at least in America, for America tournaments, they always think of like, oh, it's just going to be KC, CBS, or it's A Groove, Blanca, Dictator, Sakura, or Claw, or whatnot. Don't get me wrong, those are still very prevalent, but Japan has come away with like player specialists like Rai, who plays K Mai, Hibiki, Sagat, with the best Mai you'll ever find anywhere. And he plays that character beats like top tier. Somehow he can beat top tiers with that character, and it's like I don't understand. And then you have like Gao, who plays K Geese, the best K Geese in the world probably, next to him and Yane. But Yane's been playing S Groove, strangely enough. K Geese, Nakaruru, and dude, that he can maul. I want Gao. Like I want some of the like when people,
you want them to come to
the US. We have ST players come to US. And people are like, dude, Matsun's crazy. Look at the combo Matsun does. Like Matsun does like the walk in, walk out, they DP, walk back in, one short super shit. You're like, oh my god, that was bonkers. Dude, the things that Gao does would blow people's minds in CVS2. Of the reads he does, the reaction he has, Gao is crazy, especially if he plays his K Group team.
Yeah, I've seen, I don't know, like, I know a lot of these names, and I vaguely remember the teams. I can't call on specific matches, like, like I could with ST, but there's this one setup that I saw. I think it was, was it Gun? I don't know. It was A or E.
Oh, he's talking about where he did chip. He started doing chip, got him down to a pixel of chip to guard break. Instead,
does the command
grab.
Yeah.
Did the combo. Did a meaty fireball, which broke the guard, and then super jump roundhouse. Yeah. That was A versus. You can find that. That's the 10. That's the first to 10. Gon versus Kiku.
Yeah. Okay. There
Gon
you go.
Did
it. Yeah. That's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in CVS2. That is like. That's like Miteki just getting like. Jump roundhouse, low strong, double somersault combo like at SPO. It's like the most ridiculous shit, man. Like what the hell? How high level is this?
Like he would and then like Kiku would have had to like guess out, like even roll. It would either try to roll out, which with the jump he did, he probably could have caught a roll, or try to like maybe reversal DP or reversal RC through or something like that. But the setup there was it was the most amazing thing to watch. I'm like, he did what?
All bases covered. Ridiculous.
Dude. Yeah. There's so much high level play of CVS2 that I don't think people really understand, because it's just something you don't see too often, just because there hasn't been really that much visual on it. With us, with ST, we've been we had the people we had Gene and Tanya for Wednesday Night Fights, and then in the New York, you had the New York guys of Chris Doyle and all those and that crew doing their own stuff for like 202 Furious and all that kind of stuff. So ST was always kind of, people can kind of see it. We're constantly bringing it to events. CVS2, not so much. It wasn't something that was really shown. You couldn't play it online, so you couldn't really bring in new blood. Didn't have like an HD remix where we got like, where you had Snake Eyes and all that kind of stuff that even played Super Turbo very well, who was a top player that we could bring in occasionally. he couldn't bring in like, Daigo would come in and play Super Turbo sometimes and all that kind of stuff. And so it didn't really have this kind of upheaval that ST did, but it's kind of getting there to a point because Boss has put in so much work with it. So yeah, if given the choice of putting CVS2, I would do it just because, man, because I would record the shit out of it, dude. I would just like put everything on. I was like, dude, you guys go. We're gonna record all these matches. Let's go.
Actually, speaking of which, there's we'll have to talk about it off stream. So I could talk to you about it after this podcast, but it's just related to doing something big for CVS2. But anyhow, what I'm hoping is that, I mean, we kind of like diverged from ST a while back, and it's been a lot about CVS2, but giving people that idea of, you can do the same thing with another game and express yourself, because CVS2 is pretty deep, and maybe the way that we're trying to get a lot of people, like new people, into ST by like talking about it, pretend you're so, for the viewers, you're already like really into ST, but now you're hearing about this other game and it's like, oh man, like you could do this and you could do that, and how do you feel about it? Like that, like how do our viewers feel about, hearing about the CVS2, and their feeling should be basically what a newcomer should feel from like ST, the way that we talk about it. I hope that was translated well for everybody. But ultimately, like it's about like, the stories along the way. So like this picture, for example, here. Right, so
right after KSB, yeah, that was a fun one. So obviously, like in every fighting, everybody knows like fighting game tournaments is about, there's like one day of tournaments, and then everything after that is casuals, either in salty suites, and then you go out to and then right after, and usually before that is, let's go out and have some food. Let's celebrate, or let's drink our worries away. Let's have some food and have some fun. This was right after KSB, right after KBO. And we had a big, huge hot pot. You can see Boss on the bottom left. Now you can see me taking the picture. The person next to me, this is actually a funny story. So this was a huge kind of one of those very fancy actual eat-in places where you actually, you take off your shoes and you have to, they had sit. It's my first time in one of these where like table is actually low. You have to be on your knees and all that kind of stuff. So it's my first time in one of these kind of places. But they had a hot pot where they had a bunch of food, and most of it's gone at this point. But you can see them raising glasses of sake, and obviously people are drinking. I had a few shots of it. It was really good. Isaiah, who's the guy on the right, who's giving us a peace sign there, who was also in the it was also, you can also find him in the casuals at a-cho, as well as he was in the KSB tournament as well. Also a US player, I think from East Coast, I think. But he didn't realize he thought, so when you get sake, you get the little bottle, and then you get this little glass that you're supposed to pour it in. Now, Riz, when you get that glass, is your automatic thought is to drink it like it's a shot?
With like the little
a sake glass
to drink it like a shot?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've seen it in Japan. Don't you like mix it with, so you put it in like a bigger cup with something?
Well, and anyways, sake. What I was going on is that sake is not necessary. This isn't like a shot thing. It's not really something. You're actually supposed to taste it and drink it. It's something slowly? You drink. Okay. Right? You drink it slowly. You drink it in small shot glasses, but you don't like. It's not these one kind of whiskey shots that like you just want to feel the burn as it goes down, right? Isaiah was literally getting one of these and just popping them. Wasn't tasting them, nothing, just shunk. And they were, and he couldn't understand why. The Japanese like, oh, you're very strong. And the Japanese are like, wow, you're strong. He's like, what is it they talking about? Dude, that's not a shot glass, dude. You don't drink sake that way. It's not? No, drink the thing, man. That's strong stuff. And so they think you're trying to show off and stuff. He's like, oh, I didn't realize that. It's like, no, man, you're supposed to enjoy it, man. Sake actually has some flavor aspects to it, man.
Did he get all twisted after? Or he was just chilling.
He was pretty much just chilling afterwards. One person that got hammered. That's they actually did if you remember, they did boss did a farewell to Kodama.
Yes.
He got hammered. Apparently, he's known for it because literally they were constantly ordering more sake for him during this event. I don't think he's pictured there. I probably should have given you the other picture where I showed like there's like 3 other tables of people that I can show off. Oh, I have a really crazy story after this. Okay, so right after this, people who were streaming that event is the guy from Illuminati. I forget his name, and also Majin Obama. Giuna, and then Majin Obama were at this event because they're very much because KSB was very much an anime tournament. It was a lot of anime fighters, and I guess CVS2 just kind of snuck in there. It kind of fits, I guess, but a lot of it was more of anime fighters and that kind of stuff. So Giuna and Majin Obama were the main English restreamers essentially. And so at one point, once we were leaving, Giuna and Majin Obama were sitting out, hanging out with some peeps. And they had some drinks out, they had some cans out, but they were keeping it in the bag so they weren't littering or anything like that. But they were drinking, talking, all that kind of stuff. Then the person in the glasses in the upper right that you can see clearly, whose name is Aoki, who's also known as Sachan-san in Twitter, who runs the CVS2 in Osaka in one of the arcades. Him and another player. I forget his name. It's an N-Groove player. I forget his name. Starts with an M. Damn it. I don't know. I can't remember his name. But anyways, they were talking, and obviously a lot of Japanese players have broken English. They can understand it a little bit. They've obviously taken some English courses usually, and so they have some pretty broken English, so they don't know everything, but they can actually hold a conversation a lot better than most people, right? But this is gonna get almost not safe for work, okay?
Oh shit.
Giuna and it's gonna be very sexually oriented because of the words they were. Giuna and Majin Obama were teaching the other player an English phrase, and they taught him eat ass.
And is that where the line came from Boss?
Yeah, eat ass. And so they had him start. Literally, they got him so like eat ass. Oh yeah, and then literally there was something even talking about like pink eye. I'm like, oh my! I have my face in my hands. Like, oh, this is nuts, you drunkards, man. And they literally got him to like chant it to like people walking by. Eat ass, seriously. And like people look, and then like some other Japanese like took pictures thinking it was like something, I don't know, it was so weird, but like literally chanting it, eat ass, and like, oh yeah, it's very good, like and totally trolling him on this thing. Finally, after like 15 minutes of having him just saying this nonchalantly, they tell him what it is, and in the most perfect English he's ever had throughout for the entire day, he goes, "You guys are fucking crazy." It was the craziest night I've ever had. It was like, what the fuck is happening? Oh man,
shit.
I was like, oh, what's his name? Matanabu, something like that. M.A. something. I forget his name, but there's a specific like first of 5 series in Boss's channel when he traveled to Tokyo for a quick bit. He's a very strong N-Groove player. I think he went like, when at first of 5, he got like 3 matches on like Boss. Like he got like 3 matches on Gal, 2 matches on Boss, and then like beat most of everybody else. A very strong player.
Beast.
But yeah, it was like eat ass. I'm like, oh my god.
That's the origin of the tweet.
That's the origin of that tweet,
bitches.
Dude. Yeah. Eat ass bitches. Yeah, it was the most ridiculous nonsense I've ever been in. I was so embarrassed for him. I'm like, literally, the response was so perfect because it was the best English he's ever spoken. It was like, you guys fucking crazy. It was so good. I never laughed so much. I never laughed that hard in my life. It was so good.
All right, let's tone it down to ST gatherings now.
Oh, here we go. This is a fun one. So this was Canada Cup. I don't remember which one exactly. It might be the first one.
2016.
Shogatsu, Kusamundo. Yeah, this might have been 2016. I'm pretty sure this is 2016. So, this was after. I think this is after the main tournament or one of the first days, and of course the captain Atari taking us out on the town, having drinks, finding food and all that kind of stuff. He takes us to this one place where they have a bar where they bring out this rack of drinks that are in different styles of drinks, and you can almost see it in the bottom left where you can see like there's multiple glasses in like a wooden tray.
Yeah.
We're next to Eugene, like right in front of Eugene, right? You can kind of see it a little bit there. And basically it comes out, there's like 4 glasses there, or like 5 glasses, all have a different beer in it that range from light to dark. And so the person's coming in and she's explaining what this is, and apparently somehow it got lost to translate that they think Eugene has a good enough Japanese that he can explain the intricacies of each. Like this girl is going into like where they're made, the kind of hops, like the flavor.
Who stepped on the grapes that they cut their nails?
Yeah, pretty much all this stuff. And literally, she gets through it. They put it in front of the Japanese, and Eugene goes light, dark. Essentially in Japanese, like light to dark. It's like I'm not gonna be able to explain this. I don't have that technique. Oh, it was hilarious. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. We took out to, it was a lot of snack eats and then drinking. Dude, the Japanese just go crazy with drinks, man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it, right?
Yeah. I've seen it.
These old guys,
they
dude,
get
man.
faded, bro. Look, he's faded.
You can even see Kusamundo almost like leaning over. Now, granted, they've had their flight lagged and stuff, but dude, you put alcohol. They could have been drinking all day. You put another glass of alcohol in front, they'll take it. They'll just chow it down. It's like, I'm good. Dude, man. Oh my god, so much fun.
Shit, good times. And then just got this here.
Yeah, Makai Cup. So this was another one so I've only won. So we talked about EVO, we talked about Texas Showdown. The only other one that I won a Super Turbo with Cammy with is Makai Cup in Ohio. That was when Min was doing 202 they combined 202 Furious. Min was there doing CBS 2 as well, and then they had like Alpha 2 and Super Turbo. I was there. I went there obviously for CVS 2 and Super Turbo. I probably could have hopped into Third Strike because I played a guy. I was dabbling at that point a little bit of Third Strike, and then they had like a cab, and I was playing a guy who got like if you've seen on Twitter, Steelhammer, who does a lot of like the Urian.
His tech is ridiculous.
Yeah, I played him casually with my basic Urian, and he goes, dude, you should have joined. I think it was like after the tournament, like, dude, you should have joined up. You probably would have gotten to at least top 8. You're way better than a lot of the players here. I'm like, oh, well, I was wanting to focus on ST and CVS2. But Makai was fun because obviously the Vampire Savior scene, it was cool to see Vampire Savior scene be that big. It was like our ST scene when we bring in the big leagues of the Japanese here and seeing them there. And obviously they had like the low tier god of playing a guy playing Victor. I forget his name. I don't follow Vampire Savior, but dude, his Victor was just amazing. If I ever go into Vampire Savior, obviously I'm going to be picking Victor low tier. Oh my god, that guy was so cool. Anyways, but one cool story, if you want to go to the other picture for Makai, because that's actually really cool. That's what the event looked like, because it was literally an abandoned mall. One really funny story. So there's a very strong Honda player from that area in Chicago. I think his name is, oh my god, I forgot his name. Chris something?
Chris Gamble?
Chris Gamble, thank you.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Chris Gamble, who's who's very well known for his Honda play. We never actually got to play. We didn't get any casuals in, and we missed each other in tournament. He lost in winners to, I think, the Chun-Li player that I beat in winners and in winners on winners side. And then he lost to the same, either he lost to was it ENG or that was it's the other dictator, what's his name? Oh, come on.
Arshad.
Azad.
Arshad.
Sorry, my bad. Arshad.
Damn, dude, you know all the Japanese, CVS2 players. You don't remember your US ST players? Come on now.
If he had a gamer tag, I would remember his name.
Yeah, the arch villain, bro. But yeah, keep going.
Arch villain, thank you. Oh my god. Oh my lord. Man. Anyways, so I got to grand finals. I was on winner's side, but he didn't make it to. He lost in winners at one point. He either lost again to the same Chun-Li, or he lost to Arshad, because I played Arshad in grand finals. And what's funny was, at the very end, obviously there was always been the talk that like I play Tanya, I'm pretty good against Hondas. I had a really good very good score against playing against other Hondas and that kind of stuff. Apparently, he probably have heard that at some point. We never really talked at all. And then after I won, he literally tried to hop down next to me and literally really quickly play me while this is streamed. Like this is like at, I don't know, like 10 o'clock at night. They're trying to get through. They still need to get through like the grand finals of Vampire Saver. He sees me win, literally tries to hop in and go, no, play me one match really quickly. You gotta play me, man. And it was like, and all like the TOs were like, no, we don't have time. Get off. And I have yet still to play Chris Gamble in ST.
Damn. He was mad good. He was
mad that he
player,
didn't get to play me. He was like, no, I should be. It felt like he felt like he should have been in grand finals to play me, and he would have won or something. I don't know, but it was
also
really
hometown
funny.
Hero shit.
Yeah, he's the hometown hero, and so he like, oh no, you got to play me. There's no way, and that kind of feeling of it. Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Damn. Yeah, shout out to Chris Gamble. I met him at Evo, and he was pretty chill with Mars Gotti. So then three of us like kicked it. We chatted a lot. Actually, I talked to him a lot about like random tech, and I'm not quite sure what happened to him, but yeah, those guys were good. Between him, Archvillain, and Miguel. I think it's Miguel who you fought in grand finals. That was
the Chun-Li player. Yeah. Miguel.
Yeah. AKA Nicki Minaj or whatever.
Oh yeah! Wow. See you. Oh my God! I'm so sorry, guys. I am bad. I apologize. I've lost all memory of Super Turbo even players now.
Well, to be fair, I had to like rewatch a lot of stuff just to remember. The only thing I can't remember is years, but I can remember who fought who and like roughly when and the score. So like all that stuff I know. Like I know that you beat Arshad at that tournament.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so that's what it was. 2016 is that I went to Canada Cup, and I think 2017 is when everybody was saying we're going to Japan, and then 2018 is when I went down. I went through around all the US tournaments. That was 2016. I went to Canada Cup, like my first like real tournament, like out of the country, and then I went to Japan the year after in 2017, I believe. And then that was the first trip to Japan. And then 2018, that's when I went through like all like Texas Showdown, Mackay, Texas, all that kind of stuff. And then the year after that, 2019, that's when I went to Japan again. That was my second. That's probably the time frames.
Damn, gotta go back. Hopefully this year. Yo, seriously, once we're able to open again, I'm out.
Oh yeah.
I'm out.
Oh yeah, so for sure. If everything goes to plan, the goal is that because he usually hosts the World Olympic stuff kind of like in November. I'm hoping stuff gets really like we get all the vaccines out and all that kind of stuff in time that everything can open up by that point. I'm crossing my fingers, man, for that, because I really want to go to Japan again, go into that World Olympics CVS2. Sorry if I can get to both ST and CVS2. There was a chance for me to actually like go back up for Kakarugo when I went down for KVO, because Kakarugo was happening as well, I think at the same time as doing KSB again. I'm like, oh god damn. Like I can't do both. There was a possibility of me actually doing that, of like taking the train up for like 3 hours and coming back the next day, but I'm like, no, that's gonna just drain me, and I'm not gonna do that.
Nah, man, for the love of the game, you gotta do that. We kind of went quite a bit. We're almost at the 3 hour mark, but If there's some community questions, you can open up like Discord, whichever ones you wanted to answer that we didn't get through to yet.
Okay.
Feel free.
So let me go into the list here. Yeah. I think we touched on quite a bit of them actually.
Yeah. It was also a little short notice, so you probably didn't get like crazy amount of questions, but yeah.
It's all right. But we went through a lot. And I jump around. I know I'm pretty sure I have ADHD and don't know it. But anyway, so what are the major differences between streaming for an offline versus an online event?
Questions.
I know. Do you have a preference for one over the other? Offline, because I actually get to see people. Offline mostly just because it's in person. Offline is just the vibe is a lot more fun. Online, it's fun, but being alone and streaming, it's not so much. Also, one of the main differences is that when I do the online events, usually I'm by myself. I am the TO, I am the streamer, I am the broadcaster, and a lot of times I'm also the player as well.
Commentator, player, streamer. Oh shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, dude. All that stuff. The major differences is definitely you're gonna have a lot more hardware. So for CVS2 and stuff. Like I bring my own, like I have my own PS2. So you have to bring you have to have your own game console. You have to make sure that you actually have a monitor there as well. Then you also need the capture equipment. Streaming wise, it's roughly the same, but you just need to have the equipment available that you can. Once you have the equipment, you usually have extra equipment. You have the game console that you normally have at home. But now you have to have it portable. You have to make sure it's not going to break and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit more tedious in that regard, but mostly it's kind of the actual streaming of it is not that much different. The only thing with online, you have to deal with online. You can't just scream into the void of a thing of like, you motherfucker, to CVS2. You can't do that. You have to try to ping them online, all that kind of stuff. So there are differences there. But I definitely prefer offline because you get a lot more. You can get help. Like I said, with online, I'm usually the one, unless I'm working with Riz on some events. But Riz you've been doing crazy amount of stuff, dude. Like, one quick question for you: do you work as well?
Yeah. So
dude, how do you stream that much, dude? Like you're doing Wednesday night fights, and then you're also doing your lucha stuff. Like seriously, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna slow it down soon because
that's what killed. So that's what killed us, and like Tanya and Eugene and I after doing ST for 2 years, dude, doing that on a Wednesday afternoon, man, would kill me, man. They say I call it Wednesday night fights, dude. It's Thursday mornings. It's Thursday morning. I call it Thursday morning brawl. That's the one thing about offline streaming. If you're the streamer, you are there from start to finish.
Yeah.
You are there at the first match. You're there at the last match. You're the last person to leave. So unless you don't have the time to do all of that, you probably shouldn't be the one streaming. Because you are going to be the last one out. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to have to work with all the problems of not getting video, not getting audio. But you actually will get help. Now when you're out there, you can have help. You can have people calling out names. You can have TOs helping you call out for players, look for players. People doing commentary for you while you're actually running the stream, all that kind of jazz. So I do prefer offline, but with that, you are the person that packs everything in. You're also the one that packs everything out. So there is that. Next one: what new features would you like to see added to Fightcade or NoldDC or any other retro fighting game platform? Rollback netcode. Rollback netcode.
That's the obvious.
That's the main one.
Sure. Yeah.
Currently, right now, Fightcade obviously has rollback netcode for majority of its games. Right now, what they're trying to do is implement games that run not on their normal CPS2 emulator, which they have rollback netcode for, but also for things that run on Dreamcast and those kind of things. And they're currently using a system called Flycast for Fightcade. NullDC is a different emulator. So people get confused. I'll say this right now. So people get confused. People hear NullDC Bear, and there was one point when Fightcade was still using NullDC. It's like, what's the difference? There's not. It's the exact same thing, just that Fightcade is a different launcher for it, essentially. But Fightcade now is using a different emulator called Flycast. That's being updated by BlueMinder, who's done a lot of work with it. It's at a good point. There's replays, but it's only for local replays. There's no like spectating mode that Bear kind of has, where you can actually at least it will automatically send you the replay when you jump into somebody who's playing already. It'll start from the very beginning, so it won't start right when they're playing, so you have to catch up. But it makes it so we can actually spectate it. So the main features we'll love to see is for specific platform for Fightcade. It has a lot of the good stuff. Right now I would love to see that they open the availability for non-Patreons, because right now Patreons get some really cool access stuff, which I understand because they need to have the money to maintain the actual servers and whatnot. But I would like to see some of that actually be open to the general public. So like if you're a Patreon, you get access to private lobbies that you can do. You don't get access to that if you're not. You can go into them if you don't have it, but you can't make any. And stuff like that. Also, you can only have 3 games in your tab open that you can look through. You get more. You can get unlimited. Is it unlimited when you have Patreon?
No, there's different tiers and.
Oh, really?
Different, yeah.
Okay, so I would like to see some of that open for Fightcade. For NullDC, I would love for it to be able to work without Radmin. That's the big thing that Fightcade has currently. You don't need to use so right now with NullDC Bear, you need to use a virtual VPN, which is Radmin, which is what we use. You can technically use Hamachi. It's the same idea. It's basically the platform looks to see if you are in the same, if the person in a virtual IP matches, kind of like you can see the same person. And so what I would love to see is that we wouldn't have to continue to use that. I think that's what's causing a lot of the, desyncs, a lot of the stutter that for us, and crashing for us is we think having multiple Radmin servers open so you can try to find as many players. We think had some issues with that. So I would love to see Bear not rely on that in some way, but that would require what Fightcade does, which is basically it opens a hole in your firewall to kind of direct connect to people. It also uses a server to get those peer-to-peer to connect people. NullDC Bear doesn't have that. There's no server for it. We're using the virtual VPN, the virtual IPs to actually connect directly to each other. So it would require basically what Fightcade's doing of us like having to pay Rosin like a monthly thing to that way you can actually have a server maybe up and running, so that way you can actually make those connections without a VPN. But I would like to see that in some way, but we'll have to see if that's in the future or not. And obviously for games like CBS2, MVC2 that are Dreamcast that don't have rollback netcode currently, other than like the MVC2 versions that you can't buy anymore. I would love to see some rollback implementation. That's a work in progress. The idea is hopefully with BlueMinder thinks that with Flycast he has a better chance than using NullDC. That's why they switched to that. The first step would be to getting save states. I can already imagine the issue with that, because basically they have to rip it up. They have to separate the. If you ever seen all those videos that with Keats talking about it, they have to separate the game logic from the actual animation. But not only that, they also have to separate it from the audio. Can you imagine the audio being what all the audio jackiness can happen with rollback happening in CVS2? It already has some really crazy sound stuff going through it. So I'm sure that'll be crazy.
The coin button is ready.
The worst thing that can ever happen is that that coin thing was never designed to be spammed at 10 presses a second. Oh my god, it's the worst Ambrosia sound ever. Okay. But yeah, that's my things on Fightcade and NullDC. So I guess we'll do one last one that Damned I put. Why did I drop ST for CBS2?
Shit.
Most, it's not so much dropping, is that online wise, the game I want to play more than anything is CVS2. Online ST, I kind of stopped playing online ST much even before COVID stuff. I wasn't really, because I had options to actually play it offline a lot of times with Tanya and Eugene and all that kind of stuff. So playing it online is not fun for me anymore. Granted, I haven't played it in a while now, so I wouldn't need to really grind it, and grinding it online just doesn't pique my interest. So mostly it's just that because we're all online now, it's a game that I don't want to really put the effort into when I can actually play CVS2 online and try and learn that game now. So yeah,
there you go. The purist. You're better than all of us. Shit. We're generous over here doing
give me. You're like drug addicts. Give me my fix, man. I don't care how dirty it is. Give me that dirty needle. Shink.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really play a lot of ST online. I stream a lot of ST events and stuff, but I don't really play a lot.
You do the most. You just stream the tournaments. You don't join them that much.
Yeah. I don't really play like that, which I'm fine with.
I think that's why I can't do that. I can't stream it as much. If I just streamed them, it would probably be, I probably could do more, but because I'm also playing in them and I'm playing part of it, it kind of just drains me out to do it that much, though. Yeah. As much as you do. Holy jeez, dude.
Nah, it'll slow down. I want to focus more on podcast stuff anyway, so yeah.
Alrighty. Well, do we have any more questions? I think that's the last of the questions that I see that was posted.
Yeah, I mean, nobody hit me up on personal. Yeah, because I was hoping people would hit me up.
Let me see at the very beginning of what people add. Yeah. No question. Just want to thank you. People are saying thank you for all the streams. You guys are so welcome. I appreciate all the support from when I was streaming. Oh, one thing I got lucky with streaming. Another quick story is that I actually got lucky with my quote unquote even though I'm not very big, of how actually big I've even gotten from streaming was from knowing people. So Tanya, during when I was streaming, I wasn't getting very many views. I was getting 5-6 people who would show up during my first Super Turbo stuff. Then Tanya decided to be the most amazing person that she is, walked over to the people at Level Up Live. Hey, can I hop on the mic and shout it out my channel? Hey, we're hosting CVS2. Go give some love to Silentscope or whatever. And there's a very famous clip on my channel of me going, what the fuck is this? And because I have my Streamlabs open and seeing all of a sudden 5 names pop up, another 5 names, another 5 names. I got 100 followers in a good 10 minutes. I was like, it's Tanya, what are you doing to me? So yeah, so I got lucky with that. Having amazing people to shout out my channel and all that kind of stuff. What kind of work did you put in to make a low tier character work in a pretty mature game? I think we went into that a little bit. We're both lack matchup knowledge. I guess for matchup knowledge, there's a lot of material out there, especially for Super Turbo. Like I said, I delved in hard of just watching how I got good at CVS2 was literally watching top players play. How I got same with ST. I went on YouTube and just watched people play, and then I tried to emulate what they were doing. I was like, what is he doing? Okay, he's doing this. And then just by playing, I'm like, okay, so that's why that's working. Because that's happening. Got it. And so it was very much figuring out, okay, what is he doing to that? Oh, okay. I'm having trouble with this. Oh, and then trying to find those matchups. Sometimes they're hard to find because, because low tier characters aren't very common. So usually those matches aren't very widespread. So you kind of might have to come up with yourself. But you'd be surprised how much knowledge is out there on the wide web. So, we already answered my Silentscope name. Jeff Rocks asking propane or charcoal. What's ever available, man. Charcoal for flavor, propane for convenience. Jeez. And they already asked why. Yeah, we already answered why Cammy. But yeah, can we have a compilation of you just angry acting in games? Oh God.
So twitch.tv/Silentscope88.
So yeah, just come watch me live. You'll see me bitch and moan about online all the time. Mostly I'm just bitching and moaning about our online that LA has been crap ass online right now. Literally, I think because we're at like right now we're like really early in the morning. We're at like 3 in the morning right now, and I think our connection's probably the best it's ever been currently.
Yeah.
And so that tells me that it's just LA being absolute trash. So.
Damn,
So that's
yeah,
you won't see me
definitely
bitching about the game too much. You'll be seeing me bitching about the netcode and all the online and all that kind of crap. You will, but if you do want to see, I am planning on streaming more other games like the week in between of doing the CVS2 events. I want to get back into streaming other games. So if you want to stream me scream at those, like when I played the Star Wars game and me bitching and moaning, like having to restart that on a PS4, you can see me do that if you really want to.
Yeah, I want to check that shit out. I want to see you play normal games, not just
normal games. See me scream and moan at those. Yeah, give me salty on those. All right, we'll get those. I'm probably gonna start next week on going back into playing other games. I have a few games that I haven't finished that I want to get back into.
Nice.
Alrighty, I think that's all the questions I see. So, and I think we've gone. It's getting really late, and I think we're at a good spot. I think, unless you have some more for me, more knowledge for me, or more questions for me.
Well, no, I mean, I guess like we can do like shout outs, and then if there's anyone you can think of to put on the show. But I'll just tell you straight up, like the next guest is gonna be D44 Boss, and yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
I mean, we're gonna go over not just like CVS2. Obviously, like he's played ST in a lot of US tournaments, and he's studied Yondaime, and I could tell because he's done some stuff. I'm like, bro, you watch Yondaime, right? He goes, yeah. So
well, because he's actually asked me, hey, can you? Because when he was traveling around and he would join ST tournaments, he actually asked me to give him videos of, where's this match? Can you show me, this character versus this character? And I would scrounge because I had the YouTube channels subscribed to. I would search around, find either Yondaime or Yaya or Ultra Combo, and find that character. They played against every single character at least some point, so I would find that and send them to him. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he emulated Yondaime.
Yeah, so basically, but also about like old school FGC stuff, because he has quite a bit of stories. So it's a little bit different from just ST. I want to see how deep in the lore we can go into like old school.
I would like to know about like when like John Choi actually won like the 2 in a row. Like how strong was John Choi? How did he feel about John Choi in CVS2, and what would he feel about him coming back and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I'll probably add when you actually add and say, hey, we're gonna have pause. I'll put that questions in and stuff like that. That should be fun.
But yeah, that being said, any other person you could think of is branching out a little bit, but we're gonna bring it back to
I forgot who you did for like the first episode.
Oh yeah,
I don't want.
Yeah. So, well, season 2 right now is James Chen, Jimmy Bones, and then you, and Boss. But season 1, I mean, there was like 9 people. I mean, you could just name who's the first person that comes to mind.
I mean, you did Eugene, but I always think Tanya would be a fun one to do because she has a unique experience. She's had a unique experience with it. I'm trying to think. Oh man, it's really late. It's really early in the morning, man. My brain is starting to die on me. Holy moly. You know what? What would be an interesting one would probably maybe Min from 202 Furious, actually, because he's done a lot of the retro stuff. Like even so, CVS2, Super Turbo, all those stuff, and he hosts all those constantly. So that would be so maybe to see like the East Coast side, because I know a lot of us are on the West Coast now, and maybe getting some of that East Coast side knowledge of all that kind of stuff of that time and of that area. Maybe that would be interesting. And you could probably do the same for like Midwest of maybe getting either Chris Gamble or I'm trying to think of, or like Chris Delp. Did you do Chris Delp?
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah.
That's a good one. For Free Play Arcade, Chris Delp, them kind of revitalizing ST in their own way with the just deciding, hey, we're gonna make this huge ass event in the middle of Texas $6,000 pot bonus. What was it again? I forget. It was like $6,000.
I think it was
ridiculous.
a $10,000.
It was a $10,000, right?
For this,
some ridiculous for ST, and we're gonna fly out Japanese. We're like, well, okay. And so yeah, I think Chris Delp I think that's a good one. Chris Delp from Free Play Arcade. It's early in the morning, man. You finally your kids are asleep, man. Holy moly. But yeah, Chris Delp, I think that's probably my main pick. Would probably be Chris Delp because of him, kind of the new revitalization. I mean, if you want to talk about new bloods, I mean, they're doing. I'm sure he has even stories about new kids that are playing. Like they do like, yeah, Sonic Math. They have like new kids that are joining in, all that kind of stuff, figuring out like how like what was the mindset of like, hey, let's do this huge ST event. Like, I know they started it small. They started with like, they brought Eugene, they brought Tanya. I mean, that first one was like very small. Like, if you remember, there's like an old video. I think you went there, right? Right?
Oh,
it was
well,
like
yeah,
very
that
early.
was Spring Series 2. Yeah, it was.
It was much small. And then I want to know where did they get the idea to jump to that holy gigantic thing of like, this could be a thing, right? Let's make this huge. Let's get $10,000 prize pool. Let's put this together. What was what drove that from this kind of like small kind of stream of like, hey, we're gonna play some ST, we got some really top players here, this will be fun, to let's make this gigantic amazing thing that they've turned it into, which I'm glad Free Play is still alive, and I hope to go back soon, and hopefully this year as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm also planning a trip, again, when things get.
Yeah, so I would say I think Chris Delp would probably be a good pick, because he can give you very much kind of the look at ST. You've gotten a lot of the old school, especially with like James Chen, kind of mid school with me and Eugene and Tanya and stuff like that. I think Chris Delp can kind of give you an idea of like the newer bloods, because I don't think a lot of those players have only really started kind of recently. They haven't really been even shorter amount of time than I've been playing. So I think that would give us an interesting look into like the future of ST.
Yeah, I mean, I got my calendar, so I think I'll be able to do more episodes if I'm streaming less. That's where, I need to like balance out my time a little bit better. But yeah, I'll keep that somewhere on my mind to figure out where it fits best, basically.
Well, you have this in recording, so you just can come back here. What did Silentscope recommend? Oh, that's right.
yeah. I guess otherwise, if you have any shout outs, and then I guess I'll be that.
Hey, shout outs to you for making these, man. These are awesome. I really enjoyed James's ones. Have been amazing, man. James always has the best stories, man. It was so much fun to watch. I'm interested to see what Jimmy Bones' take. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Level Up live series guys who are bringing back old school games for Street Fighter Alpha 2, ST weeklies, all the boss and stuff who are trying to keep CBS2 alive. All the old school players, all the old school streams that are playing all these retro stuff. All the shout outs to all you guys. Shout out to Eugene and Tanya for really keeping getting their teeth into me in the Super Turbo by doing the weeklies so I can get into it. Yeah, and thank you everybody who supports not only your channel Riz but also mine for hosting CBS2 and ST and all that kind of stuff. So those are my shout outs. Shout outs to James for always being down to do him and David, Ultra David, are always down to do old school stuff with us. So big shout outs to them for allowing us to keep these kind of things going and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, I hope to see you do more of the, not just like CBS2 streams, but also like ST, and maybe try to squeeze in a Monday Night Fights tournament just for kicks, or the next.
I get it. You wanted me to hop in there just so I could relieve you of the duty. So you're like, could you stream this just one time?
I need to take a step back from it, seriously. But also, there's gonna be Mascherino Cup this year too. So for ST,
oh geez, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's stuff. So I think either way, just come hang out, or even when we do like the casual lobby streams, we're just like hanging out playing, just come through. So it was fun. So
Alrighty.
Yeah, it was nice having you on. This went, way longer than I thought it would, but we did kind of cover two games.
I knew it was gonna be long. I ramble, man. I ramble too much.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, we could always break it up in like 2 parts anyway. And yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about that thing after this call. But either way, guys, that's gonna be this episode. You can already hear my voice. I'm like kind of losing my voice a little bit. I've been drinking liquids in between. But yeah, you guys can check out the end credits. I know I said that Boss would be our next guest, but depending on the schedule, so you guys will see at the actual end credits who will be on the next episode. Until then, I'll catch you guys next time. So take it easy and peace out.
Later.